to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingles Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingles Studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat each and every day. It feels like we haven't done this in a long, long time.
That's because we haven't. No, we haven't done this in a long, long time. I didn't realize how long until we started doing all the things, and I went, wow, that date accelerated fast.
It's good to be back with you here in the Sportsocracy, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. Also, of course, the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. Last week, a little respite, some summer vacation, if you will, for the program as I went on the big trip to Washington, D.C., get all snazzed up in my tux for the National Association of Broadcasters Service to America Awards. Very strange experience. It was just very weird. Like, I've never been to an official award show and have to be on the stage and, you know, get the trophy and all that kind of thing. It was super weird, but it was a great experience. A lot of fun. We may be doing that again in a little while, a couple of months. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Keep your. I mean, it's well deserved. You and Mark looked very spiffy, thanks to our friends at Mitchell's Tuxedos.
Absolutely. If you ever need a formal outfit, go see Kathy over at Mitchell's Tuxedo.
I love her. She's the only person that's ever put me in a tuxedo.
I believe it.
I'm 38 years old. She's put me in every tux I've ever been in from the time I was 3 years old until now.
It was like the first time I walked into her shop. I was 16 years old. I went with Scott Cutshaw to go get his prom outfit, and we've been going there ever since. Every time you need something, she will outfit you. Kathy Mitchell, or Kathy at Mitchell's, has done everybody in this building. I think she has. I think she's done everybody except for Eddie. She told me. Eddie Fox is the only one that I don't think has gotten a tuxedo from her that is inside this building.
I'm pretty sure he has, but I could be wrong on that. I know Kathy really well.
I don't know. She said that was the only one that she thought that she hadn't outfitted yet because she has done pretty much everybody's wedding.
She won me best dressed at my prom.
Nice, very nice.
Pink tux. Let's go.
All right, it is good to be back here on ESPN Asheville and, of course, on the YouTube stream with you as we continue our summer scouting series.
Yeah, Tank, you did actual things. You know, you had events and stuff to do. I played a lot of golf, and I watched a lot of tape.
And you won a golf tournament.
Okay, all right. So let's now that you know the course beers have worn off, let's be real honest about what Jeremy did to win that golf tournament. I am probably the only person in the history of a golf tournament to ever hit a wrought iron fence with a drive and still win the damn thing. I had somebody on Kimberly Avenue send me a text message that said, "Thank you for not hitting my car." I was really worried about it for a minute. Because I saw your shot, and it was not good. No, I played with Pepsi in the Industries for the Blind tournament at Grove Park, and we did win it. And I say we very loosely because I didn't have a lot to do with that. Hit one really good chip that I'm still not sure how I did it. Mm-hmm. And other than that, I was there for comedic relief and not much else.
Right. We've got some super chats to start out the program today. The first one coming from Sir Jimothy. He says, I missed y'all more than Angel Reese misses her shots.
Greatest line I've ever heard. You could lock her in the gym all weekend. She'd have 10,000 rebounds and 10 points.
That was
I actually watched the WNBA game the other day.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah, my dad is super locked in on Caitlin Clark because he's like, this is a more pure version of basketball than the NBA or. Mm-hmm. Whoa, yeah. The WNBA is just the NBA with ponytails. That's it. It's just a bunch of people firing up the first three they could find. Basketball is dying a slow, grim death, and it's a sport I really love.
Yeah, and it's at every level. It is at every level of the sport. Now, everybody wants to play that Golden State Warriors Splash Brothers threes or more than twos
and
basketball.
Definitely. And you see the influence of the NBA on the WNBA. I think a couple of those girls were wearing the same training bra that SGA wears. If you like the NBA, that's a top 5 joke. Like, just that is elite level joke.
Has he been wearing like tops?
Yeah, he wears. I don't even know how to explain it. It's stop doing that.
Yeah.
Tank and I, if we needed to wear a sports bra, I get it. I understand because you got some flipping and some flopping. You on the other hand, that's a style choice, and I don't get it.
Are they like mesh and see through? He's in an '80s breaking movie or something?
It's odd. It's it was pointed out to me by somebody else, and now I can't unsee it. I see it every time he's shooting free throws because you can see it underneath the collar.
Well, Kyler Murray was wearing those last year.
Yeah,
remember at training camp,
guys. Okay, I get it. It's a new day. It's a new world. I get it, but that's still beyond odd.
Well, why are you doing that? Don't do that. I'm surprised. You actually watched a WNBA game.
I didn't have a choice. It was Father's Day, and that's what Dad wanted to watch. So I'm sitting here like,
oh, well, yeah.
He got super into it, too. And I was like, what is happening right now? Like, happy belated Father's Day to all the dads, by the way.
Absolutely. Hope everybody had the best Father's Day you possibly can have. Our house was mixed emotions yesterday because my wife's father just passed away a few months ago, and so it was her first Father's Day without him. And so we dealt with that a lot yesterday. But I did get to go and spend some time with my dad and go watch the Red Sox and the Yankees game, which was awesome. Red Sox win 2-0. It's a great gift for Father's Day. And then they ruined it. Rafael Devers being traded away from the Boston Red Sox it's just one of those like benchmark moments. Like every time a superstar player leaves your team, you'll never forget it. And it just feels like as a Red Sox fan, we have way too many of those. Way too many of those.
I mean, if you're expecting sympathy, I need you to understand you're talking to a guy that grew up pulling for the New York Knicks and a guy that's a lifelong New York Jets fan.
I get it. It's always one of those, like, how long do you hang on to the guy who's done so much for you? Like, everybody wanted to go back to 2004, start talking about Nomar Garciaparra and how he got traded. Well, That's not a real good example, guys, because he got traded and we immediately won a World Series. So let's not use that as the example.
But
I mean, I get that's how they want this to go, and it's not going to. But that's not that's not a good example. Now you want to start talking about Chris Sale? You get rid of him, and he immediately goes to the Atlanta Braves and wins the Cy Young Award. Xander Bogaerts. Obviously, I mean, he hasn't done great things since he went to the San Diego Padres, but he was the last one of these. I get he didn't get traded, but you didn't give him the contract. Mookie Betts, another one of the worst trades of all time. I mean, they got, in return for Mookie Betts, the best player that they got is now playing for the Atlanta Braves, and he's so bad for the Braves that fans are ready to set his locker on fire. Talking about Alex Verdugo.
Let's go.
Ugh.
Tank is Tank's in his Red Sox feels today.
Yeah, I am. I hate it.
I knew you would be,
I
too.
don't like it.
I knew you would be.
Well, of course. And the number one sign of any trade where you know you aired is when your biggest rivals fans go hit Twitter and like, oh, thank God he's no longer around. That's when you know you screwed up.
Oh, we should do a daily draft of trades that hurt you the most.
Trades that hurt. I like that.
Oh, we should do that today.
Absolutely.
Well, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh,
let's mark that down.
Oh.
Trades that hurt you the most.
Oh, I know which one's going to be my one. Because I'm still not really ready to talk about it.
We encourage all of you to throw out your suggestions and the trades that hurt you the most into the YouTube comments throughout the program. We'll highlight the best one. We have another super chat.
Show me the money, money. Show me the money. I like the cash.
Soaring Eagle says, I don't know if either of you are doing this as your outside story, but if not, I have a story that I sent to Jeremy on Twitter a few days ago. What are you using that story for your outside story?
I am.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm glad he said it because I would have forgotten it.
I guess we'll find out what that is.
I got inundated with
20 minutes.
I got inundated with Twitter messages about, I guess it was about Tuesday of last week, of people asking, "Did you die?" No, we made a concerted effort. I mean, first of all, Tank's been pulled away for getting recognized for great work he did, which we did not fully expect.
Mm-hmm.
I was so dead by the end of the draft that I had to have a look in the mirror moment of, we're not doing that again. Because I won't survive it. So it has been a little cushier of an off season.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We got a couple of member super chats as well. Colin says 36 months as a member of the House of Reprehensibles. Let's go. 3 years of being a subscriber. Thank you so much.
And that's why, Colin, you are one of the true show G's of this show.
Mm-hmm. And another one from Jonathan Welch. He's at 39 months as a member of the House of Reprehensibles. Says, we're back, baby. You're right. We are back.
We're back, and that drop for Super Chats didn't get any better. It's still awful. Yeah, that's still terrible.
Well, see, I'm going to play that one for all the free ones.
So I've been working on imaging for my new podcast, which, just an update on that. I'm having to do it on other channels. So we're having to start new channels that I'm not going to monetize because you're showing stuff that it's copyrighted, so you're not allowed to do that. So I almost made a real big boo-boo where you would have been finding us by hopes and prayers. But I have broken down all the tape of all the quarterbacks, and I'm ready to make definitive statements about your quarterbacks in this draft class.
All right, Colin, I'll give you the good one this time. He sent 5 Sportsocracy gift memberships in the YouTube. Thank you for that. Stubby Nubby is now my new favorite member of the House of Reprehensibles.
I'm also
not
pretty
sure
sure.
who that is.
I'm also pretty sure that was your nickname in high school.
And it's not.
And if it wasn't, it's your new nickname on this show
now
forever.
Oh man! So as we have been gone, been kind of unplugged from the scene here for the last week. Is there anything that's been burning on your mind that you really just have to speak on, NFL wise?
Now, just how often people we're so starved for sports because you get to this point and there's so many people, like the people that listen to this show, that I don't like the NBA. No matter how much I try to like the NBA, I don't. Even a good series. Indianapolis OKC has been a good series. I've tried to watch it. It's just boring. There's good players. The Oklahoma City was built in a great way. Indiana's a great story. I cannot get into it because the product is so bad. Baseball, I don't know who any of these guys are. I mean, I don't like the sport in the first place. I don't know who these players are. I had to when I saw the Rafael Devers thing come down yesterday, I had to think for a minute of who he played for.
Wow.
I knew it. It didn't take me but a second, but still.
Right.
If Pat Mahomes gets traded tomorrow, I promise you I'm not going, does he play for the Chargers or the... It's just...
Yeah.
So we're so starved for content and for things to watch. This is a little rant that nobody's going to care about me. And nobody's going to care about but me. Why do we not have television shows that are airing new episodes when we don't have football? Can anybody explain that to me? Because it's never really made sense to me. It makes way less sense now.
It's a good question.
I mean, because fact or fiction, you would just binge watch the heber-jeebers out of something if it was actually happening right now.
Yeah, probably.
What are you and Andy, when you sit down at night right now, what are you watching?
Criminal Minds.
Which is, by the way.
We've got like 20 seasons to get through. And
you've never watched it?
No, we've never seen it.
Oh,
so we started from the very beginning, and we're on like seasons 8, 9.
Oh, dude,
like
that's top 5 show ever.
It's a great
written.
show. You've told me for years since I've known you that I should watch that show.
Dude,
and
that is
I
top.
never have.
The crazy thing is, it's had like 7 iterations because it's been canceled 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good. Putting in Work said, Tank, you're about to hit a primo section of that show. You have no idea what you're about to go through,
right?
And it is awesome.
We're at the point where Mandy Patinkin's character just got killed.
Right? Oh, you're earlier than that. Mandy Patinkin was only in that show for...
Right, but he went off the show.
Oh, yeah.
And then
that's
there
right.
was the episode where he was following an old case or something and got killed by the killer, and Ben Savage played the young Mandy Patinkin, and I never realized how much Ben Savage looks like Mandy Patinkin.
Oh, yeah. That's a quality. There was really only one lull in that show, and when you hit it, you'll come to me and go, it's when this happened, right? Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Out of their control, but
show.
yes, that is the thing that led to a bad season or two.
No,
everything
else we're all caught up on. See, and you know, I had not thought about that, and you bring up a great point. Football is such a different animal now, and you look at the yearly ratings. And last year, what was it? 60 of the top 70 drawing television programs were all NFL games. NFL or college football or you know, should the industry flip its traditions? Right? Is it time for the television industry to start going, you know what? Maybe the summertime is our best chance to put out new shows. Because it's always been fall sweeps is the big thing. Everybody wants that big fall book. But you're fighting football.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe shows like, I'm just trying to think of current shows that we'd like Grey's Anatomy. That's a show that comes on Monday nights on ABC. Who's watching that? Most of us are watching football.
For sure.
Right? Most of us are watching Monday Night Football that's pulling down, 20 million people on a really great game.
When that writer's strike happened and they had a chance to just completely upset the apple cart of the scheduling, I'll never understand why they didn't go, hey, maybe we should do this away from the football season. Instead of having 2 seasons, let's just do one all together.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I know? What do I know?
Right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Take a quick break. I will fix my camera, and we'll be back on the YouTubes in just a moment.
Our iHeartRadio.
We're clear.
You beat me to it.
Is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 19th and 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu.
And you can be there.
For a weekend full of superstar performances, never-before-seen collaborations, and once-in-a-lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your ticket.
Is that too far?
AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2025 iHeart Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved.
Felt like Wayne's World there for a second. I looked over at the thing. It was like extreme close up.
You don't want to skip. Plus, did you
I
know
wasn't
Megan Thee
paying
Stallion
attention
is a
and
huge
looked
Sex and
over
the
and
City
went,
fan? Well,
what
she sat
is
down with Kristen
happening?
Davis, and she's got some pretty hot takes on the show. And if you live for true crime,
I saw it blink and I was like, oh shit, here it goes.
Oh, this is not
deep
good.
Into the biggest cases
Not
and celebrity
good.
scandals you don't want to miss.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
I don't like the fact that these cameras lock in on your hands because I talk with my hands too much.
Hitting the water or hitting the golf ball. We have everything you need for
I need to put
the greatest grill out and the best beach vacation.
We got a meeting in the morning, don't
Mountains
we?
are calling. The open road awaits, and that pool park.
I want to say there's a.
Stock up on all
I think
the
it's
goodies
tomorrow.
To get you through your
Oh, okay. I'll check.
prices. Love the
I need to put the controller on your computer, and it'll keep that from happening.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager.
Okay.
See, my controller doesn't
Introducing you to
affect
this
yours
summer's
because
Parks
your camera's
Community
not plugged
Hero,
into my
The
computer.
American Red Cross.
That's why it never
of North
happens to
Carolina.
me. Because I have it
Gotcha.
completely turned off. There are no
Join us on
hand
June
motions. There
27th
are no
at
nothing.
Fort of Hendersonville.
I can sit here and do
Help save a life
jumping
and
jacks if I
donate
want to.
blood.
Right.
Our community and support all of our community heroes. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for...
I'm a Gambit fan. Remember when cameras just, recorded the shit you pointed them at?
solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m.
I'm redoing
in
the
partnership with
set in the
WTF
office.
Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage.
Cameras make
It's
my
free,
head
It's
hurt.
fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. It's good to be doing this again. There's sometimes you need to take a little respite, little vacation, some time off, just to remind yourself how much fun this is.
Oh, it's for me. I wish we had enough to talk about through the summer. I also wish that, you and I had started doing this when we weren't in our 30s and 40s.
Right.
And we could hold up to the rigorous schedule that we will be releasing at the end of next month.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule is almost done for Living the Dream Rides Again.
Mm-hmm.
And it is
I got a phone call yesterday
it's a lot.
from our good friend Mike Morgan, who has resurrected his Sports Freak show down in Henderson County. I got a phone call from him yesterday and was like, "Hey, can you do something with me real quick for the show on Monday?" And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So 4:30 yesterday afternoon, I'm standing in my uncle's front yard talking sports with Mike Morgan, and I felt at one point Mike wanted to jump through the phone and just strangle me like Homer Simpson on Bart Simpson style because I would not shut up. I went on a 15-minute soliloquy basically about everything that was grinding my gears about sports that had been building up in me for 2 weeks.
Mike, I've done Mike's show a couple times, and
that's what he told me. He said I felt guilty because I had Jeremy on, so I felt like I had to call you, get you on.
Well, and he knows me. He reins me in like I'm a pet llama.
Yeah.
He's like, you got about 45 seconds on this. You got about a minute and a half on this. And I'm like, I appreciate that personally. I'll do podcasts. I will tell you a fun story about me. I do a ton of podcasts during the season. I have never once not had one at the end where they went, well, we meant to do 45 minutes and we did an hour 15. And there are at least a handful of people that are in our chat that have watched those that can verify that. I've never been on with the Commanders where they didn't go, well, we went 30 minutes longer than we intended to. Sorry, it's kind of a problem I have.
Right.
I like the sound of my own voice.
Mm-hmm. 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 We did have a question here in the YouTube comments that I went by. Somebody asking about where was that? Oh, Saf was asking how are we feeling about the Raiders this season? Tank still full of hate. And then Stephen Tao with the response of Tank is Emperor Palpatine hate when it comes to the Las Vegas Raiders. Good for you for the Star Wars reference, and it's not that bad. It's honestly not that bad. By the day, it's getting less and less and less hateful going toward the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, the Raiders are kind of hard to hate at this point. I mean, because what do you have to hate?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot.
They have a quarterback. The talent on the roster has gotten better, and they have a coach. I always felt like your biggest qualm with the Raiders was you didn't like how they were run.
No, I hate the way they were run. I hate the fact that there was nobody in the building that seemed to have any kind of, I don't know, acute football knowledge. Right? You've just been a joke forever. And then it's kind of all changed now.
Well, I mean, and that's the funniest part to me of watching OTAs. You know, Fox News always called themselves the no-spin zone, or Bill O'Reilly or whoever it was that used to say that. That's all we have in the NFL now. Everyone is a spin zone of no matter how bad your roster is. Here is what we can sell you that will make you want to buy tickets in the fall, make you want to buy jerseys in the fall, make you want to watch our games in the fall. I mean, I'm seeing it with the Jets. You cannot look at that roster and not go, oh, boy, that's bad. Whew, that team is terrible. And you know what the only thing I hear on a day-in, day-out basis is? Man, Aaron Glenn's been the winner of the offseason. 92% participation in the voluntary camp. By the way, when you're bragging about your percentage of commitment to voluntary camp, it's a pretty good sign. Not going to be a great year.
Really?
Oh,
that doesn't give you hope that there's a cohesion there, that everybody's kind of buying in, everybody wants to be a part of the revolution.
Hey, what was the Baltimore Ravens voluntary camp participation percentage?
Oh, I have no idea.
It was 100%.
Well, there you go.
You know why you didn't hear that? Because that's not what they're bragging about.
Because it's always on.
You know what they're bragging about? This offense is really good, and DeAndre Hopkins was the third fastest player on the field one of their days.
Yep.
So all those people say, oh, he's old and can't move. You sure about that?
Right.
Are you sure about that? Because I don't think you should be.
Right. I think he's going to be just fine.
But
There's
but that's that's where I was headed with that, though.
Yeah.
Is that good teams don't brag about things that good teams should do.
Mm-hmm.
If your team's bought in, you should be at 90 to 95% participation. And yeah, there are some guys, they don't need to come to voluntary camp. All right, Lamar Jackson did not necessarily need to come to voluntary camp. He did because he had moving pieces and he wanted to help. But if that's your high watermark, we got 92% of the guys in the building. Look at us. That's not a good sign.
It's baby steps, just one step at a time. Right? First, we need to get everybody bought in, and then maybe we can start to build something. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Look, I mean, there's just not many teams left in the NFL that you go from the top down. You're just not well run.
Right.
And I think that's one of the things I run into when I get really deep down a rabbit hole on a team. You got to understand, I'm not comparing you to the way the league was run 10 years ago. I'm comparing you to everybody else right now. That's why I look at a team like the Miami Dolphins and go, 10 years ago, yeah, that would probably have worked. Because you have enough talent. I think the coaching staff is good. I really like Anthony Weaver. I kind of like Mike McDaniel. Not nearly as much as you do. That would probably have worked. Not now. It's not working now. You know what wins in the NFL now? Good quarterback play, smart coaches. And you better be on the highest of high side of both.
And that's something that the Las Vegas Raiders couldn't check either of those boxes for a long time.
And now they can check them
I
both.
guess there was that one season, I guess the first season of John Gruden, right? We were all hopeful, like this is going to turn everything around. Derek Carr is going to be, he's going to see a resurgence here. John Gruden's going to make a difference for him. That was the last time that you could check that box, and that exploded in 5 weeks? It didn't last long before we realized that it wasn't great, and then it never got off the ground because all of the, stuff that happened there. The emails and the surfacing of those and all of that, derailed it. Before that, when was that moment? Kenny Stabler?
Oh, Rich Gannon.
Rich Gannon and
Rich
Callahan.
Gannon won an MVP.
Do you go Gannon and Callahan or Gannon and
It was
Gruden?
Gannon and Gruden. And then Callahan actually got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. When Gruden left and went to Tampa. That very next year was when Gruden and Tampa played Oakland, they were Oakland at that point.
Yes.
In the Super Bowl and just beat the snot out of them. It's been a long time. It's been 23 years. So I'm hopeful. I am hopeful because I love Pete Carroll. And I've said over and over about this team, I like some of the pieces. Obviously, I love Brock Bowers. I love Max Crosby. Malcolm Kuntz, awesome. So maybe it all changes. Maybe. It's not going to be as bad this year, though. I will not be the Las Vegas Raiders are the worst team in the league guy this year, hopefully. Because I don't think it's possible that they come out in the first couple of weeks of the season and we go, oh, these guys don't look like they know what they're doing. Right? I mean, do you expect that out of the Tar Heels? Because I don't. I expect when the Tar Heels come out, that's going to be a well-disciplined team from the get-go. They may not be good. They may not be great at scoring points, or they may give up a bunch of points early. But for the most part, I feel like that's going to be reflected. The leadership will be reflected on the field. And I feel the same way about Las Vegas. Because those coaches are not going to allow that to happen.
Well, in college at this point, good coaches are a lot like deodorant. It doesn't make you clean. You're just not going to smell as bad from afar.
Mm-hmm.
You still got to have players, and that's one of my bigger drawbacks. I totally forgot. We do have to talk about the NCAA court case finally being legislated because we've been gone so long that was done while we were gone.
Right. We'll take a break. We'll get into that coming up next, right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, everywhere on the iHeart Radio app.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Mountain weather forecast.
Are you dying?
I may be dodging this afternoon and maybe pours in some spots, showers and thunderstorms.
We got a couple super chats after
mid-afternoon through tonight, especially
outside.
Early tonight. Tonight's low will be probably around 65 after a high of 85. Tuesday, likely showers.
Camera is up.
Wednesday, more scattered late-day showers and thunderstorms, 87. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik from the Weather
Channel.
Channel.
This report is...
I was going to say we were still up on the screen and my camera went all weird.
You're buying your first home, finding your next one, or unlocking home equity to fund one of your dreams, there's only one destination that has everything you need to get started. Get started today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
iHeartRadio just gave driving an upgrade with presets.
David's so rosy today.
Your go-to station's podcasts.
David L. says we're all dying just at different rates. Well, thanks for that, David.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but geez, you don't have to say it out loud.
Actually,
he's not wrong.
A few days after lean, we were
I totally forgot. I do. I have a different outside story. I can't figure out what story Soaring Eagle's talking about.
Calling, needing trees removed and couldn't afford it.
So I do have one that's really funny though.
Few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina.
And when people talk about opinions,
we are fully insured and licensed,
and things like that, my outside story is going to prove definitively some people have opinions that we don't really need to talk about.
Your family.
We don't need to give them any credence because they're
chainsaw
crazy.
Needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers, 828-316-1013, or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Woo!
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we're Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy. Time to get just a bit outside, and usually we find like funny sports stories here, but sometimes I have to take the opportunity to talk about the sports that we never talk about. There were two trades yesterday in sports that made me completely scratch my head. The first one was in the NBA, where I did not realize Desmond Bane was worth 4 first-round draft picks. Which to me tells me either I am so removed from the NBA that I have no idea what players are worth, or the value of a first-round draft pick in the NBA has completely tanked. Which one is it? It might be a little bit of both.
It is certainly a little bit of both.
Okay.
Especially if you have a pick in the 20s.
Right.
A first round. All right. I had a feeling you were going to tell this story.
Yeah.
Yavis Misi was the 21st pick in last year's draft. Pacome Diadite was a first round pick. Tristan Da Silva was the Magic's first round pick last year.
Yeah.
They're just not worth much because college basketball is not doing you any favors.
Mm-hmm.
This year you've got Cooper Flagg, you've got Dylan Harper, and then you got a bunch of maybe they'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but they might be.
I'm not saying that the deal was bad. I'm just I didn't realize. I guess it just dawned on me yesterday how little value there is in a first round draft pick. Because as I started thinking about it, I started thinking about who are those guys? Who's getting picked at 20 and 22 in the NBA draft? It's all dudes you've never heard of.
I am at a point where college basketball is sending you such flawed prospects. Mm-hmm. I would never not take international guys. Every single pick you gave me, I'm going to take a Euro. Every time. I will have a whole team that doesn't speak the same language. I don't care. Because college basketball programs are gross. Put it this way. The number 2 player in this draft, and it's universal. Nobody has anybody but Cooper Flagg or Dylan Harper 1-2.
Yes.
3, you start getting into Ace Bailey and Knipple from Duke. They're fine. I just don't think they're ever going to be stars.
Edgecombe.
VJ Edgecombe, yep.
Mm-hmm.
You get into that area. The number 2 player in this class couldn't even get Rutgers to the tournament. I want you to think about what I just said. The second best college player in what is widely regarded to be the best draft we've had in at least half a decade couldn't even get a Big Ten team to the NCAA tournament. UC Santa Barbara had a chance to be an at-large team last year. Mm-hmm. You couldn't get them there, and you're revered as a generational prospect. No, I'm good. Give me that 18-year-old kid that started playing with grown men when he was 8.
Right.
Because that's how that works. You start seeing a lot of these European prospects. Hey, he's been playing professionally since he was 12. First of all, can you imagine? I'm just thinking of me as a 38-year-old man. Like some little 12-year-old wonderkin comes in here. Well, I'm going to hurt your feelings every day for about 2 years.
Right.
I'm going to give you a complex at the very least.
And then yesterday, as I was sitting at dinner with my father, I got a text message from our good buddy Adam Harris. This is a giant Red Sox fan. And all the text message said was, this is why we never buy jerseys of current players, only retired players. And my response to him was, what? So then I immediately had to go find out what he was talking about. And the Boston Red Sox trade Rafael Devers to the San Francisco Giants for a bag of peanuts. Looking into it a little more, okay, there's some hope for the prospects that they got back from the San Francisco Giants, but it looks terrible just on the rundown sheet. 4 guys you've never heard of. 1 maybe you heard of, but he's not very good yet anyway. And then on the other side, you have 3-time All-Star, Mr. Silver Slugger, Rafael Devers on the other side. It looks super lopsided. The Red Sox shedding money, and just one guy posted a picture that he had just gotten for Father's Day, the Rafael Devers City uniform. which, by the way, these city uniforms that they have now that are monster colored and have the, they're in the font of the wall, the scoreboard on the wall. Awesome. Don't ever go back to those yellow and blue UCLA terrible uniforms. Don't ever do that again. These new monster uniforms, those need to be the ones that you always wear on the City Connect days. But the guy had just gotten the Rafi Devers jersey from his kid for Father's Day, and then 2 hours later, gone. Out of here.
Should have gone with Fanatics. They'd trade that bad boy in.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, they
have the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
My story is also about the NBA. It's about a player in the NBA. And I want to use this as a learning tool. Okay, we've had a lot of things happening in this country, and a lot of people think that I'm narrow-minded and that I don't want to hear other people's opinions. And I want to tell you this story to maybe explain why that is. Tyler Hero is a guard for the Miami Heat. He is 25 years old. He joined 2 Twitch streamers, Neon and Aiden Ross, on a live stream. And they started just, as you do on a live stream, they just kind of start talking. It's the beauty of our jobs now. We're really just having a glorified conversation in front of you for 3 hours.
Yes.
That's what we do every day. Well, they asked him, somebody in the chat in that live stream asked Tyler Hero if he believed Wilt Chamberlain would be a top 5 player in today's NBA.
Oh, God.
His answer was, and I quote, and this is actually not even the bad part. He said, I don't even know what Wilt looked like or played like. He was then asked if he believed that Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points, which he did for the Philadelphia Warriors in a game against the New York Knicks in 1962.
Yes.
Hero responded with, yeah. But it was kind of a weird yeah. And you knew he was getting ready to say something stupid.
Yeah.
By the way, this interaction is how people our age feels when people that are, in their early 20s start talking to us about grandiose things. We're afraid. Some of you are very smart and very well informed. Some of you say things like what Tyler Hero followed this up with. He asked the other 2, do you think history is a real thing? I want you to just break down the sentence I just said. Do you think history is a real thing?
Yes. I do.
Aiden Ross responded with, yeah, of course I do, because I'm not an idiot. Tyler Hero said, nah, I don't believe in history. Nah, I'm dead serious.
What does that even mean?
They then elaborated and said, well, what about the moon landing? Nah, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in anything that happened before 1950. He then said Christopher Columbus was not a real thing and went on this huge diatribe how basically everything you've ever been told is not true. Like in Tyler Hero's mind, the world started in 1950, and he doesn't. But by the way, moon landing was after 1950. I just wanted to throw that out there because I watched this whole interaction and went, how is any one person on the planet Earth this stupid?
Mm-hmm.
And that, boys and girls, there are people like that in the world. Nope, history didn't happen. My parents were born, and that's when the world started. Whew. Okay. You are a tremendous moron. And the fact you look like Machine Gun Kelly's little brother really kind of already told me that. Like, I knew that before you ever opened your mouth. You just showed me the level of stupid that you actually went to. World War II, that didn't really happen? Nah, it didn't happen. It's all fake. Wow, you are a particular, unbelievable set of moron. Yeah.
I don't believe in anything that happened before 1950.
That's verbatim.
Yeah, that's the quote. Like, how can you possibly not? Okay.
Now, Randy L has a really good point. Randy L has a really good point in our YouTube comments. History is written by the victor, and there's certainly some differentiation from one teller to the next.
Okay.
I don't disagree with any of that. If you're saying it wasn't told to you accurately, okay, we can have that's a conversation that's worth having. Tyler Hero basically said the world didn't exist until 1950. Where did all the pictures come from? And Tyler, here's my number one question. If you meet an 80-year-old person, what year were they born? Goober? Because as of right now, they would have had to have been born no earlier than 1946. What are these? What do you think these are androids? Do you think we're trying to screw with you? And this, ladies and gentlemen, this is what a public school education can get you if not done appropriately.
Well, I mean, he did go to Kentucky, so there is that.
He was only there for like 15 minutes. I'm really more crediting, like, I don't know. Where is Tyler Hero from?
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm going to tell you here in just...
Let's see.
Greenville, Wisconsin. Figured it out. Got it. Understand now. He was too busy trying to avoid the bugs. He was too busy trying to figure out, why the hell do we build roads 13 feet at a time?
Uh-huh.
Never paid attention in history class.
Greenfield, Wisconsin.
My good googly moo. The world didn't exist before. I don't believe in anything before 1950.
No, he didn't say it didn't exist. He just said he didn't believe anything anybody told him from that period. So, I mean, it does exist, but he just doesn't believe the accounts of it unless what? Like, I don't understand. We're breaking this down way too much.
Are we?
But
are we? Because I kind of feel like this is really.
I'm trying to figure out what could possibly be the rational thought there. What happened in 1950 that makes things more believable? There's nothing. There was no new technology. There was like, that was the birth of computers. So now we have an accurate accounting of things. I mean, I don't think
and they're talking about this in our YouTube chat, and now my brain's gone to a completely different place. I would kill to have been there for the first day he started talking to older Kentucky fans. Like, I mean, have you ever been to Kentucky? Like the university, not the state.
Through there, but no.
So basically, the entire fan base of Kentucky is it's an older fan base traditionally. It's been through the family forever. Like Grandpa was a Kentucky Wildcat, Daddy was, kid is, grandkids will be. I would kill to have heard him say this to an older Kentucky fan that just looked at him like, bless your heart that you have a jump shot. Because if you didn't, like, you were always destined to have a job with your name on your shirt. You just got lucky it was your last name on the back.
Right.
Because it would have been changing tires with your first name on the front. Because you are a special breed of stupid. I read this story. I found this story, I don't know, yesterday. I was just flipping through, and I saw that and went, that like blood is coming out of my ears.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's even dumber than Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving thinks the earth is flat.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyrie Irving is on an intellectual level that is so much higher than Tyler Hero that I'm not sure they could even sit in the same room without Kyrie going, you're too stupid for me to talk to.
At least he's good at basketball.
I mean, I had to find that article from 4 different sources and then find the video to believe it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't actually believe anybody could have said that out loud with a straight face.
Just history didn't happen.
But he did. History didn't happen. Nope. Great Depression? No, sir. Everybody was just hiding their money. They cooked at home.
How do you know? There's nobody that could tell us firsthand knowledge of anything that happened before 1950. Well, you got to check your math on that, because there are a bunch of people that are still alive that were here before 1950.
Randy L has a great point. Tyler Hero's dad's 47. His grandparents must have been born before 1950.
Oh, yeah.
Like, had to. Yeah,
Yes.
and can you imagine Grandpa Hero sitting around going, I always told you that boy was dumber than a box of hammers. That boy better be glad he was fast.
Right.
He's dumber than a stick.
That is a special kind of stupid right there.
Yeah, I had always been told Tyler Hero is one of those that you talk to about 3 minutes and go, there's a reason nobody traded for you when the Heat were trying to parlay you into anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For real? Like, how do we know? When did he come to the land or whatever? They said 1942. There's no way of really knowing that, though.
Wait, he said 1942?
No, 1492, excuse me.
There we go. I was about to say, if he thought this country was started in 1942, I think I figured out where the problem started.
No, he's talking about Christopher Columbus. He came over in 1492? Well, I mean, that's what they told us, but there's no real way to know that happened. I mean, sure, there's, it's been a long time, right? But there are documentations, right? There's people wrote it down and went, hey, this is what happened on this date. Just as we've done for everything since 1950. Wow. Tyler Hero, thanks for just hijacking the last half of the first hour of my program.
Hero.
You are a freaking moron. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We will get into some summer scouting when we come back.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Forecast.
Thank you.
Maybe dodging this afternoon and maybe dodging some.
Do you need a lozenge?
Showers and thunderstorms now kicked into the likely category. Mid-afternoon through tonight, especially early tonight. Tonight's low will be probably around 65 after a high of 85. Tuesday, likely showers, thunderstorms, 85. Wednesday, more scattered late-day showers and thunderstorms, 87. I'm meteorologist Ray Stagik from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by the NC Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Each year, about 2,000 pedestrians and over 800 cyclists are hit by cars in North Carolina. You can change this. Drivers must yield to pedestrians, and cyclists must obey traffic laws. Visit watchformenc.org.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NML. Access.org, number 3030.
What? All the budget has to be used.
You will never guess the email that I just got.
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads.
Sirius Satellite Radio just called and said they want to give us $12 billion to do this all the time.
No.
$1.
Damn.
Indeed, you do.
You would probably think
Sponsoring
it's
a
every
job on
bit that
Indeed
cool,
gives it
though.
a visibility boost.
Oh, nice.
Or faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you want the lowest price. With their lowest price guarantee, if you find a qualifying lower price on the same item, they'll match it. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how they'll match price at Lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. For black men, that stat is 1 in 6. When prostate cancer is caught early, it's highly treatable. But because most men have no symptoms, it's vital to talk to your doctor at your annual visit about prostate cancer screening. Not sure where to start? Go to pcf.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Remember, it's your life. Go to pcf.org today.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried, and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the... So you gonna tell me what the email was, or... Of every month, they partner with
you know that thing we talked about before the show that South Carolina wasn't going to let us do?
Yeah.
The school you like is completely willing to let us do it.
Hell yeah.
Atlanta Braves, it's time to dial in, which means every game means a little more.
First pitch, ground ball right side.
LFG.
By Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Mountain's home for the Braves on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the
Here we go.
iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportocracy is back and live in the Ingalls studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. Of course, you can hear us everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. You can see us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Glad you're able to spend some time with us here today. Still, hoping everybody had a great Father's Day weekend. And as you think through life, just think, I'm not as stupid as Tyler Hero. We can all take solace in that. I just keep reading these quotes from him from this podcast. It's the dumbest thing I think I've ever heard. Like, he actually said, see, y'all believe that excrement. I don't believe that excrement. I never read that excrement in school.
We don't doubt that.
Obvious.
We don't doubt that
Tyler.
At all. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure you have the ability to read it. I think if we handed it to you, you'd go, what are these squiggly lines on paper? And why do you all know what it says, but I do not?
Oh, he doesn't believe in history.
I keep going back to that Bert Kreischer joke about when he was taking Russian and at Florida State, and he didn't pay attention. I was taking tests in a language with which I was not familiar with their alphabet. Could you imagine taking a test where you look at the question and it's like hieroglyphics?
Uh-huh.
It's beautiful.
And
beautiful.
The answer is star circle #shoe.
There it is. That was what I was trying to remember.
That's a great line. Great line.
We have a handful of super chats to get into before we get into summer scouting.
Let's see here. Super chat time in the Sportsocracy.
I think it's funny we both came back and now neither one of us can talk because we're both so hoarse in spite of the fact that we haven't been talking.
Yeah.
Colin,
I've been dealing with a respiratory infection for a week. So
I've been fine until I think I caught the bubonic plague through the camera from you. Colin, he donated 5 more Sportsocracy memberships because he is a true Show G. And he also said, because all the good shows are getting canceled and facts don't care about your feelings. That was when we were talking about television shows. I'm actually finding there are more shows that I like that are still running right now. They're just almost all about cops. We're watching The Rookie right now. Love it. Criminal Minds, I'm all the way caught up, so I'm watching the new season.
Right.
Love it. Fantastic.
The more I watch Criminal Minds, the more I think they need to take all the writers of that show and just throw them in a prison somewhere. You shouldn't be able to have that weird stuff in your mind. The cases just get weirder and weirder every time.
Oh, but just wait.
It's so highly believable. That's the bad part.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till you get to now. It's wild.
Nanners.
We have another super chat from Sir Jimothy. Sir Jimothy, considering schedule, what is a great year for Florida? Well, I can tell you this. Florida has managed to, as a lifelong Florida State fan, Florida's always kind of been a pain in my keister.
Mm-hmm.
This year, they are serving to be the biggest pain in my keister. Because on Living the Dream this year, with Living the Dream Rides Again, we're trying to get to see all of my top 100 players. Florida has a boatload of them. I cannot figure out a game that we can get to. Between our commitments and the games that we've already committed to do and that we've already signed to do, I can't figure out where we're going to get to Florida, but I know I have to.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a possibility.
Well, you're either going to have to go to Florida,
which I'm fine with,
or Kentucky or Georgia. Those are like the only places.
Well, Georgia's in Jacksonville.
Well, that's true.
Trust me, if that game was at Georgia, that would be really easy. Unfortunately, it's not. And
But that game's not that far, though.
No, it's not.
Jacksonville's not far.
No, the one I really want to do is Tennessee, Florida. Because somehow Tennessee is the closest school, and that's a hard school to get to somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee just went, hey, how can we schedule every game where it is impossible for the dudes that are 90 miles down the road to get here? How can we do that? Every weekend that we have free, they're on the road. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that don't know, as I have to build this schedule, and I do it with the sponsors, and hey, do you want us to do this? It almost becomes like putting together a jigsaw puzzle. The only problem is that about every 2 or 3 days, somebody just comes along and grabs a handful of the pieces and runs away with them. They'll bring them back, but just a few days down the line. But now answering your question, they start with Long Island and South Florida, so I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say, you're going to be 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're on the road, LSU, Miami, and then you get Texas in Florida. Woof.
Good luck.
I think they could go 8-4. I do. I think Florida could go 8-4. They went 8-5 last year. This schedule is awful. They get Tennessee and Florida State at home. They get Georgia in Jacksonville. Other than that, and you get Texas in Florida. Other than that, every good team you play is on the road.
Man.
Which is evil. Florida's schedule is evil.
That, I feel like you're being high hopes.
I like DJ Lagway a lot.
That's like the ceiling for me.
Dude, you're talking to a guy that's just, I've spent the last 2 weeks crash coursing quarterback tape.
Mm-hmm.
If DJ Lagway takes a jump, he might be a top 3 quarterback in the country.
Really?
Look, I already see this coming. We're going to spend 5 months debating how good Drew Aller is.
Mm-hmm.
Of which Drew Aller is like the girl you had a crush on in high school. You really want her to love you? She's never going to. You're not nearly cute enough for her. Drew Aller's not nearly good enough for us to talk about him as much as we're going to.
Okay.
And I like him to a point. His tape made me... I want to get into this a little bit. as I have just gone down and broken down the quarterbacks, this quarterback class is the Tinder of NFL draft classes.
Okay.
You're going to swipe right at some point.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that you're going to be happy about it. I mean, Betty Bowlegs is high at 2 o'clock. It's as good as it gets. I mean, that's what it is because they all have my dad has a line. Everybody's got a belly button. And I always thought that was the weirdest thing. And then I thought about it. It's true. And they're usually not all that cute.
Mm-hmm.
This is a class where everybody has a belly button, and most of them you could put a baseball in because the wart on every one of these quarterbacks is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arch Manning, who I've seen throw maybe 100 passes. I think that was the number. I think it was 94. That number's in my head for some reason. That's the guy I feel the most confident about. I want you to think about what I just said. We've got a series of guys that have played a ton. I feel better about a kid that has 939 passing yards in his life.
Everybody has a giant but. Arch Manning has the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Nussmeier, what's your big drawback for him?
I'm trying to say this in
size.
My big problem with Garrett Nussmeier is that I watch his tape and I swear to Jehovah, all I see is Bo Nix. I just see Bo Nix on repeat, and like with a dash of Baker Mayfield.
Mm.
In college, that'll be great. In the NFL, I'm not so sure.
Especially with a bad team, because Garrett Nussmeier is going to be good enough this year, correct, to be a top 5 pick?
Oh, Amy and I went to a dinner the other night, and somebody was asking me about Nussmeier, and he's one of the favorites to win the Heisman, and they were laughing about that, and I went, "There's nothing funny about that. There's a great possibility." I mean, if I was handicapping the Heisman race right now, I'd say Garrett Nussmeier's a 4-1 favorite. Okay. Just because I look around and go, who else is going to win it? Julian Sayin, who I've never seen throw a pass in my life?
No, I'd think it was him and Arch would be at the top.
Arch, who I've never really seen do anything.
Precisely.
And look, it's not a negative. It's not the problem is that those aren't first-round prospects.
Mm-hmm.
There's not. And I watch Nussmeier the same way I watch Baker, the same way that I watch Bo Nix. If you take him in the 3rd round, you can start him forever. There's not a problem there. It's just, am I taking that in the top 5?
Right.
And I hear this revisionist history of we should have been looking at Bo Nix in the would you have taken him in the top 5 if you knew what you know now? The answer is no.
No.
But we already know about it. We know it with Nussmeier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watch Lenore Sellers. And I love Lenore Sellers. I do. I love watching him play. I think he has Lamar Jackson level escapability, which is crazy because he's just a little bit smaller than Cam Newton. He is one of the slipperiest players I've ever seen. But then you watch just the passing tape and go, what in the world were you looking at?
Decision making.
The game against Clemson. Huge. All right, so everybody talks about that game with Clemson. I watched that whole tape again for the 3rd time last night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize he had about 7 separate plays where he could have just completely thrown that game away? They had so little faith in him throwing down the field that they started running the veer. He ran off-guard power like 7 plays in a row because they were scared to death of him throwing the ball down the field. And then he does throw one to the end line and gets picked off. Then he gets the ball back. They do it again, and he almost gets picked off on the 10-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
Lenoris has all of the tools that you could ever want, but you have to turn them. It's almost like making pottery. You got to take this big lump of clay and turn it into a pot. And right now, Lenoris is like halfway finished. I know it's at least going to hold water by the time we're done with this, but I don't know how pretty it's going to be. And then, Drew Aller. Oh, I can't wait to have this talk for 5 months.
Is this the guy that's going to catfish somebody?
Aller?
Yeah.
Aller's a guy that you watch in shorts, and you see Tom Brady.
Okay.
I mean, this kid has everything you could ever want. But then you see him on a football field, and he's regressing. His decision-making's regressing. He's one of 2 quarterbacks. His stat line the first year he started there, I think he had 30 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's one of 2 quarterbacks ever in the modern era of college football to do that. I don't remember off the top of my head who the other one was. He's one of 2. Then last year he threw 9, and some of them were terrible. And we harp on the one against Notre Dame because that's as bad an interception you'll ever see in your life. But then you just keep going down this rabbit hole. And it's like every single one of these guys has tape where I go, what am I looking at? I don't see a Jaden Daniels in this class. I see a bunch of Caleb Williams potentials where they have every tool you could ever want. But I don't know that they're ever going to be high level. So, I mean, the question you asked me is Drew Aller the one that's going to catfish somebody? I think several of these guys are going to catfish teams.
Right.
Because it all goes to where do they land.
Well, I mean, as it looks right now, next year's first round of the NFL draft, if you had to guess, how many quarterbacks go in the first round next year?
If I had to guess right now, Aller is a guarantee. If Arch and Cade, I don't want to say Cade's a guarantee just because the tape is so bad. But he's close. I would say Nussmeier's close.
There's going to be hype. And he's got weapons.
No less than 4.
He'll put up big numbers this year.
I can't definitively answer that. If I had to say a number, I'll say it's no less than 4. It could be as many as 7.
And that's kind of where I was thinking, or where I was wanting to lead you here. Is that's a lot of what I'm seeing. Is that the expectation is that there's going to be 7 quarterbacks go in the first round next year, and that will include guys like Sam Leavitt from Arizona State.
Is it sad that Sam Leavitt might be the one I'm the most confident in?
No.
Like if I had to bet my house on a kid being a high level starter in the NFL, I would take Arch ahead of everybody. I think Sam Leavitt would be my 2. Arch just has every raw physical tool you could ever want. I mean, short of Tom Brady and Peyton Manning going into a laboratory somewhere and combining their DNA into the perfect quarterback, I don't know that you'll ever have a prospect that is more built. Ideal body build, ideal speed, ideal arm, ideal everything. I don't know that you'll ever have another one of those.
Yeah.
But then you get into everybody else, and I get 9 deep of going, I get there. I get how it could happen. I get how it could happen with Cade Klubnik. I get how it could happen with Drew Aller, Nussmeier, Leavitt, Carson Beck, Lenore Sellers, Nico Iamaleava, and Fernando Mendoza. That's the one that nobody talks about, and I'm not sure he's not going to be really good. Haven't even mentioned John Mateer. Haven't even mentioned Dante Moore.
Carson Beck.
No, I said Beck.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, and there's others. There are other guys. Arkansas's got a kid that could wind up being really good.
I will laugh. I will laugh a lot if you take old Timmy in the first round. Carson Beck is, as a Georgia fan watching that, there was no doubt. I mean, you remember what I was saying going into the national championship. Like, I don't care. As long as it's not Carson Beck, I feel fine. I can't wait to see what Miami's going to be this year with him.
Oh, Gary in our YouTube chat said you really don't need to mention Carson Beck. Here's why I have to. All right, so we were talking about the schedule with Florida, and you want to talk about catfishing people? I can see. To me, this is so easy to draw a line from point A to B. They play Notre Dame in week 1. They play Florida and Florida State. They don't play another good defense the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 3 best defenses they play. They're all in the first half of the season. They go Louisville, Stanford, at SMU, Syracuse, NC State, at Virginia Tech, at Pittsburgh. Carson Beck may break records that Cam Ward set at Miami because that team's really good. They've got a lot of players. And we're so starved for quarterbacks that people are going to fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
When you dive into it, and I'm saying the same thing about Carson Beck that I say about Cade Klubnik. You know, starting in a few weeks, once we get all the bugs worked out of being able to show tape on the actual streams, I'm going to break down Cade Klubnik, and I'm going to say it as slowly as I can. You tell me what's higher level about this. Every good play the kid makes, it was scripted that way. He didn't have a chance to mistake this. His head never moves. Ever. He never looks off the first read. If he played in the SEC, he'd throw 45 interceptions a year. Because you would get one of those Georgia guys that just goes, follow his eyes. Follow his eyes. He's going to lead you exactly where the ball's going. And he's not looking out in front. He has no clue what he's looking at because he doesn't know how to read a defense. And I did this with every single quarterback going, are we regressing with quarterbacks? Or are we not? Is the college game doing something to where we've had 2 solid years here of we got a lot of names, but I don't know that we have a lot of prospects. And I feel like I'm the dissenter in the room going, boys, I wouldn't be so sure of this quarterback class. You're telling me this is the best one we've ever had. There's going to be 7 guys in the first round. I'm not so sure. I am not so sure that's how this is going to go. Now, I said all of that to say this. I don't know that I've ever seen a group of edge rushers that is as good as what we have here. And I'm not sure I've ever seen as many high-level offensive line prospects as we have here.
Well, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into some summer scouting here. We'll start with the guys that protect the quarterback. The offensive linemen, best in the class of 2026. Coming up next here on ESPN Asheville.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Clear.
Capital One
Thank you.
is coming
Back to Las Vegas.
September 19th and 20th, streaming live only on Hulu.
And you can be there.
For a weekend full of superstar performances, never-before-seen collaborations, and once-in-a-lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Since 1983, Nissan has been assembling award-winning vehicles for you, right here in America. And this summer, we're committed to keeping our lineup affordable and free from new tariffs. That's why we've lowered MSRP on our best-selling Rogue and Pathfinder, so you can get the car you want at the price you want, knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
OpenAI is a financial abomination, a thing that should not be, an aberration, a symbol of rot at the heart of Silicon Valley. And I'm going to tell you why on my show Better Offline, the rudest show in the tech industry, where we're breaking down why OpenAI, along with other AI companies, are dead set on lying to your boss that they can take your job. I'm also going to be talking with the greatest minds in the industry about all the other ways the rich and powerful are ruining the computer. Listen to Better Offline on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Better Offline and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Now is the time for Braves country to cheer a little louder as the 2025 Atlanta Braves start chopping their way back.
Fly ball to deep right, way back and gone! Home run, Ozuna! Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station. ESPN Asheville.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Do better, be better every day.
I just dropped my
That's the
phone,
Parks
and I'm
Promise. Our
pretty
mission,
sure I
to
just broke
improve
my
lives
toe.
with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager.
That's not good.
It landed
Experience
right
the Parks
on
Promise today at
the
parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. I just want to throw this out there. If you hear me choking, I'm okay.
I've asked him if he needs a lozenge about 6 times.
I've got the Ricolas. I'm trying to maintain. As the day goes on here, though, the medicine's wearing off. It's getting a little worse, so I apologize if throat this is going to sound scratchy or I have to cut short a sentence or something to cut the mic off to cough into it. Or, like happened in that last segment, you start to hear me cough before I can hit the button. I apologize. I'm a gamer. I'm trying to make this work.
God, we've been gone for 2 weeks, and you think we're on the I just dropped my phone on my foot, and I'm pretty sure I just broke a bone in my foot.
Awesome.
Because it is, I peed. I know I did. That hurt at a level that very few things have hurt me in my life.
Okay. All right.
But we're gamers, and we champion through it.
That's right. We're getting through it. Talking about offensive linemen, the best in the 2026 class for the NFL draft. The #1 offensive lineman in the class. How close is the argument?
Oh, I think it's
#1.
I think it's really close. Because I think you have 4 that are right here on top of each other.
Okay. So you got Mogwai, or however you say his name. Mogiao or
Malaga is the way I heard it pronounced. So that's what I'm going with till somebody tells me otherwise.
I just want to keep. Never mind. Caden Proctor has got to be on that list.
He's up there real high too.
You got my cousin Spencer from Utah.
Spencer Fano.
Who's the other one?
Caleb Loma.
Okay.
That's the one nobody ever talks about. The funny thing is he's the left tackle. Fanu plays on the right, as does Malaga. Caleb Lamu might be the best of the bunch.
Okay.
And he is so young. 6'6", 304. He was an absolute animal last year. And he's just now a redshirt sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason that people don't talk about him as much is because the possibility doesn't come out. There's also a possibility that Utah is so good on the tackles because they have both of them that they both come out and they both go in the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even mention Blake Miller, who I think is really good at Clemson. By the way, if this is going to be a really bad year to hate Clemson.
Yeah.
Because they have a guy at literally every position.
You're going to see that tiger paw a lot.
So I'm looking at my rankings right now. They have my number 1 edge rusher. It's actually number 2 edge rusher, but it's close. They have my number 1 overall player in Peter Woods. Cade Klubnik at quarterback. Avion Terrell. All 4 of those. Klubnik's not my top 10, but all 4 of those are in the top 2 or 3 of their position.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get into Antonio Williams and Blake Miller. They've got a lot of dudes.
Which means they better win something this year. Or else Clemson fans are going to be real, real angry.
If Clemson's not in the ACC title game, we need to talk about Dabo Swinney a lot.
Yes.
A lot.
They are by far, on paper, the best team in the ACC, correct? I mean, I don't
by
think there's,
far?
I mean, Miami might be close.
Miami is close.
Are you a believer in Louisville?
I like Louisville. I'm not in love with Louisville.
And the only other is SMU. Are they for real?
SMU's not going to be fun to deal with. They're going to regress because they lost so many players. But, I mean, they dove back into the transfer portal again.
Right.
Clemson
starts out the season against LSU in their own, I was going to say in Death Valley, but that doesn't really work for that.
In their Death
they're
Valley.
At home. Right. They're at home in their Death Valley to open up the season against LSU. And after that, I mean, you should be the favorite in every game that you're in, correct?
I would assume so, yes.
I mean, I would imagine
I don't
that
see one
even
that they're
on the
not.
road against South Carolina at the end of the season, they're going to be a favorite.
That's the one. South Carolina's really good, too.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina could be. I mean, I was actually talking to somebody about South Carolina over our little break there, and I basically said it's playoffs or bust for them.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't make the playoffs, you're going to have to explain to me why. Because I think their schedule did them some favors, too.
Mm-hmm. Is Florida State going to be any good?
That's the one that I kept coming back to. Everybody threw dirt on them. I'm not so sure you should.
Mm-hmm.
And here's why I say that. I think you got the quarterback thing figured out. Because Castellanos, it would be hard to be as bad as DJ Uiagalelei was. And then you get into I don't even want to say the other names. Brock Glenn. Gross. But, I mean, they play like East Texas Lafayette Institute for Culinary Excellence, Kent State, Virginia, Stanford. I mean, they don't play anybody. Even if Florida State loses every game that they're supposed to lose by 50 points, they'll still go 7-5.
Right.
And that's assuming NC State's as good as everybody seems to think they are.
Right.
Which, secret time, I don't.
You don't think NC State's going to be as good?
I think they will be fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're a threat to Clemson or Miami. Mm-hmm. Florida State has the raw talent to be a threat. After last year, it's hard for me to put much stock in it.
Right.
I'm just not throwing dirt on them.
The ACC schedule is not one of the toughest, right? We all know Manny Diaz smokes special drugs when he says that the ACC is the hardest conference in college football. You caught that, right?
I did, but
okay.
You have to look at how he said it, because I don't actually think there's anything wrong with what he said.
Really?
Oh,
in what context does that make sense?
That it's the hardest conference to win? Because none of you are all that much better than everybody else.
Okay. In that sense, I guess, maybe. It's the hardest to win because we all suck.
Yes, all of you have a big.
That's what he was.
All of you have a big grumper that could preclude you from being really any good. So yeah, I mean.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I hadn't thought about it in that sense. So
that was the first thing I thought when I read it. I went, "Man, you crafted that sentence masterfully." Because if you had said what I think you meant, I would have said you were like Tyler Hero level dum-dum.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not what he said. He said it's the toughest conference. Well, yeah, because none of you are all that great. Miami's got a lot of players.
Doesn't make it the toughest conference.
It does to win because none of you are significantly better than anybody else. The Big 12, I mean, we all already know that Rich Rodriguez is coming back to West Virginia. They're going to go 13-0 and go to the playoff. It's just a foregone conclusion.
Right, back on the bandwagon now.
For sure. I was never off the bandwagon. It was just a really hard bandwagon to watch.
But it's not the hardest conference. However, if Clemson is able to run the table, I will give them more credit than in past years. Because if SMU's good, right, and Duke is probably going to be pretty competitive again. Louisville's going to be ACC good.
Yeah, Clemson's schedule's not as easy to me as you made it out to be.
Florida State could be up there, back being competitive again.
Well, I mean, you also have to realize how many of these teams they have to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia Tech's not going to be a cakewalk.
No. And then South Carolina to close out the season. That's 5 of your last 6 games. You got to match up with Furman in there in the throwaway week at Thanksgiving. But going Clemson at home, Duke at home, Florida State at home, 2 Louisville, you get the Furman game, and then 2 South Carolina to close out the season. That's actually going to be a pretty respectable, I feel like, record if it comes out that, they're, 12-1 or 11-1 or whatever that works out to.
If Clemson has a loss to burn. Last year I really didn't feel like they did until we got to the end of the year and you realized that everybody's got 2 or 3 losses. So, yeah, I mean, you hold it against them that they lost 3 games in the regular season. Mm-hmm. But then you did win the conference. This year, I see a lot of potential pitfalls. They just have so much talent. And I keep coming back to Blake Miller because nobody talks about him. Nobody talks about him. He's never put in with that higher level grade, or at least I haven't seen anybody do it yet.
I haven't either.
But I think he belongs there. I'm not telling you he's as good as Lamu or Fano or Malaga or Caden Proctor, but I think he's the step right below it. And with the way Caden Proctor plays, one of the biggest knocks that I had on him last year, he bails out at the first sign of trouble. So if you're telling me now you've got a legit blindside protector, and yes, I do see the irony that it's the same person. If he takes that jump, all of a sudden that's going to make things will go a lot smoother for Clemson because I think the defense is going to be so good.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Take a quick break. When we come back, we will get into the official list. The best offensive lineman for the class of 2026 coming up next.
ESPN Asheville.
And clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
All right, maybe dodging this afternoon and maybe dodging some downpours in some spots. Showers and thunderstorms now kicked into the likely category. Mid-afternoon through tonight, especially early tonight. Tonight's low will be probably around 65 after a high of 85.
All right, I'll be right back.
Tuesday, likely showers, thunderstorms.
All right.
Wednesday, more scattered late-day showers and thunderstorms, 87. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by the NC Governor's Highway Safety Program.
Each year, about 2,000 pedestrians and over 800 cyclists are hit by cars in North Carolina. You can change this. Drivers must yield to pedestrians, and cyclists must obey traffic laws. Visit watchformenc.org.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Right now, get a free select tool when you buy the Craftsman V20 2-pack battery kit. Whether it's the backyard, the bathroom, or beyond, Craftsman has the tools to help you power through and get the project done right. Because DIYing is unpredictable, but your tools shouldn't be. Shop Craftsman at Lowe's today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Febreze.
As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Big news for drivers. Presets have landed on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with iHeartRadio. Access your favorite stations, podcasts, and playlists instantly right from your dashboard. Try the free iHeartRadio app on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and take those presets for a spin.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after lean, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do.
So it's Maui Goa.
Chainsaw Brothers.
I've heard it said that way too.
316-1013.
Well, that's the way he says it, so we should probably say it that way.
Covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back at the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville, and Jeremy Greene, our very own scouting nerd, our NFL draft nerd, at ESPN Draft Nerd, in fact, on the Twitter machine. If you don't follow him, you should. Giving us his breakdown, his preview of the offensive line class in 2026. So who is your number one? You said it's close amongst the top 4. Your overall number one is who?
My number one overall in the class is Fanu from Utah.
Okay.
I like you said it's Malgoa, right?
Malgoa.
He's my 2. And then Caden Proctor gets tough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know how talented he is. There's just been some really bad tape at times. And so it gets into a lot of projection. I've seen Malgoa be really good. I've seen Fanu be. I mean, he was the number 1 tackle in the country last year on a bad team. Now, I get it. They play in the Big 12 competition. I get all of those things. I just see, I see an upside with Fano that is outrageously high. I mean, I've seen him comp to Kelvin Banks Jr., and I think honestly, I don't think that's high enough. And you know how much I liked Kelvin Banks.
Sure.
Malgoa, it bothers me that he plays on the right side. I really, and I do see the irony of I said that about Fanu. Fanu could play on the left side if Loma wasn't over there. I don't understand how Malgoa has gotten this far down the line and not been slid over the left. I also get really finicky about those. I mean, you remember how I was with Talisi Fuaga.
Mm-hmm.
I like him, and I think he's going to be really good. I feel like if you had the upside to play on the left, you already would have. Now, Fuaga played left tackle for New Orleans in year 1, and he was pretty good at it. But I do kind of denigrate you for that.
All right, so you got Mauigoa at 2.
Yes.
Proctor at 3?
Yes. Okay. And Proctor, the thing that really scares me about him is how many people tell me he's a guard. The further down that guard rabbit hole we get, the more he worries me. Because I don't know where you invest in that.
Mm-hmm. But why is that? I mean, why does he get saddled with that? Why do people think that he's going to be a guard? Because he's a giant. He's not mobile enough to kick back?
He's 360 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he actually weighed in at one point at 369 last year.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's very athletic for that size, but it's one of those things that, and Tank, you can probably go back to a slew of Minnesota offensive linemen that we have talked about this with. There is a time where there's too big. You're too big to play tackle in this league because speed rushers are going to annihilate you.
Mm-hmm.
All they're going to do is play out wide, and you're not fast enough to get out to the outside to get your hand on them. And I think Proctor is floating right on that line. And then you look at some of the lesser tape he's had, where you go, okay, I'm afraid that I think he's a tackle, just to be clear. But there are a lot of smart people that don't. And that always makes me nervous.
Right. Do you still think actually we haven't talked about this since he left. But now that Nick Saban's not there anymore, how long do you think it's going to take before that whole Alabama players don't have a ceiling becomes a thing of the past?
Well, I mean, I think you could make the argument
that Tyler
now.
Hero doesn't believe it.
Well, I mean, I think you could make the argument for now.
Okay.
I mean, because you just look at the players they have in this class, and Alabama's got a lot. I mean, depending on how you rank things, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 10 guys that I legit could understand how you put them in the top 10. Now, they don't have a quarterback. At least not one that I trust. But I'm also looking at some of these guys like Deontay Lawson. He's an older guy. He did play for Saban. And I could see how people would make the argument that there's a lot left there's still a lot of juice left to squeeze there.
Okay. I know that's always been a thing for you with Alabama. Alabama players come in with a ceiling.
Oh, because Nick Saban got the most out of them.
Because the school got the most out of them. But now that Kalen DeBoer's there, I was just wondering if that still holds for now.
I think you will hear less of that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just about certain guys. So, I mean, you look at somebody like L.T. Overton. He's played a grand total of 700 snaps. 500 of them were last year for DeBoer. He had been in the program for a year with Saban, but I can't say Saban got everything out of him in a year. And now I really don't believe in the coaching at Alabama nearly to where I did. Deontay Lawson kind of falls in the same thing. But then you get somebody like Parker Brailsford. I mean, he played for Saban for a minute. So I think there is a ceiling on him. That's almost a case-by-case basis for now. But that will change within a year or two.
All right, after Caden Proctor, it's the other Utah tackle?
Caleb Lomu.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's going to come out. He is still really, really young. Just a redshirt sophomore. Still only, I think he's 20 years old. He could come back for a year. It wouldn't shock me in the least. I think there will come a time where the hype is so strong and the hype is so high. Tackles will always have a market. When you have a high-end blindside protector, they will always have a market. And I just have a weird feeling he's going to start creeping into that top 20, the top 15. You just don't see those guys come back. Once you get to that point, there's no reason to even risk an injury or anything like that.
No. I mean, when you're an offensive lineman, to me, this is how I think. When you're an offensive lineman and you reach that point where teams are interested, there is zero upside, to me, for going back to school.
I mean, how high are you going to get?
What do you mean?
How high? So let's say Lomu gets into the late teens. So he's in that Amarius Mims spot when he went to Cincinnati.
Let's go.
I mean, what are you going to put on tape?
What do you mean?
What are you going to put on tape that's going to make it significantly better?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, Lamu last year was one of the best offensive tackles in the country.
Right.
You're already playing on the left side. So it's not like you can make the transitional switch, and now you're going to answer questions people have. The questions that people have or will have about these two Utah offensive linemen is, who did you play? You're not going to answer that in 2 years any better than you're going to answer it this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me, look at Utah's schedule. It's real easy for you to figure out how people are going to go, who's the best pass rusher you actually see? I mean, this year they play UCLA early. Okay. I think Texas Tech is going to be really good. You have to go to West Virginia. You got one at BYU. Other than that, it's a bunch of games that you should run over these teams.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I'm hearing that, my sources in the process are telling me you're more than likely going to be a first-round pick, right? Like, we're almost guaranteed that you're going in the first round. May not be high, but they're not going to let you get out of the first round. I'm gone. Because I would rather be the 20th pick, right? I'd rather be the 28th pick, because that means I'm going somewhere that I got a chance to win. And big guys scare me. The knees on big guys scare me.
And they should.
And I want to get every ounce that I can out of playing in the NFL, because, you're seeing so many guys that are frankly smarter now. Right? They go through the process and you play for a few years and then you realize, like, I want to be able to walk when I'm old. I want to be able to still, believe in history when I'm 70. The injuries, the knee injuries, the back injuries, the head injuries, all of those things that are primo amongst tackles, there's no chance that I'm going back to school if you think I'm a first-round prospect. So if that hype starts building for Caleb Lamu, I think no doubt he goes next year. But being so young, I get why people leave him off their list. All right, number 5.
That's where Blake Miller comes in. And I really believe in that kid. He was one of those, and I always tend to be higher on these guys when I start noticing a player when I'm watching somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one thing I find in summer scouting is I start seeing jersey numbers. And when I check through my notes and I see 78 written down there 15 times, I go back and go, hey, wait, who is that? Oh, yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's good. And then I dive down on the deep dive for him and realize he's played on the left, he's played on the right, he's going to play on the left this year. And now that's where a hype train starts for me, because the guy winds up in that 25 to 35 to 45 range for me, and you could fall all the way to the hundreds. You could also rise into the 20s. I mean, is he going to pass Malgoa or Caden Proctor? Probably not. It's happened. It's very rare.
All right, you want to rapid fire? Give us since we got so many edge rushers to do, and we've got a daily draft coming up after the top of the hour here. You want to rapid fire? Give us the guys to watch.
Isaiah World from Oregon, transfer from Nevada. We've talked about him a little bit. He's a house. Emil Wagner from Notre Dame is one that really interests me. And then you start getting into the interior guys. We have a lot. I just don't know that there's any super high-level interior guys. Caden Greene, Missouri has another one. Shockingly enough, Missouri just keeps putting out one really good offensive lineman every single year. Jaden Roberts from Alabama, and then there's one at Texas Texas A&M, Reed Adams, Armaj Reed Adams. I have not watched him that much, but I even noticed him watching defensive tape from last year. So I need to dive deeper on him. Caden Green's my number one guard at this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
And center, outside of Jake Lauder, I really hope you got one of those last year. Because there's a bunch of them, but I don't know that any of them are going to be great prospects. Like Oregon has one that graded really well. He's 330 pounds. That guy becomes a guard 99 times out of 100.
Right.
Iowa's got one that weighs 252. Okay. I mean, sure, he needs to eat a whole mess of cheeseburgers, and then we can talk.
Him just a widow feller.
And then, Parker Brailsford, he's been around forever. Connor Lew from Auburn, he's been around forever. I don't think there's a huge high side. This could be another center class that looks a lot like last year, where not one of them goes until pick 90, and then we see 7 go in 85 picks.
Right.
But, I mean, offense, and I'm assuming you want me to do that thing I do at every position of a guy whose name you've probably never heard of that could end up being really good. Caleb Tiernan from Northwestern would be high on that list. Jennings Dunker from Iowa.
All right.
If somebody got up into that highest of high side, I could see it being him. Iowa manufactures offensive linemen. And that dude looks like he graduated high school in spite of the fact he had to bale hay every afternoon. I have no clue where he's from. If that kid didn't grow up on a farm, he missed a great opportunity because he looks
his
like
hometown is Lena, Iowa.
Yep. That's all that maths.
Jennings Dunker. Remember that one from the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, he does. He looks like a dude you'd get into a bar fight with. You'd hit him with a beer bottle and he wouldn't even budge. And you just go, "Oh boy,
But
you have one of those."
Is he a redshirt sophomore?
I think so.
Oh, the thing I'm looking
Yeah,
at
he is.
says he was.
No. He's a redshirt junior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a redshirt junior.
All right, so this is wrong. What I was looking at said he was a freshman this past year, and I was like, he looks a little older than a freshman. But
yeah, no, he's been around for a minute.
Stop it with the policeman stash. By the way, let's
look. We've been over it with mustaches. Just the mustache looks good on two people on this planet, and it should never go away. It's Tom Selleck and my father. That's it. It's the only two people on earth that should rock the mustache.
Really? No love for Sam Elliott?
I stand corrected. There are 3 people on this earth. I saw Sam Elliott without a mustache, and it felt like when you see a snail shed its shell. Like, nope, you got to kill that thing because that looks weird. I don't like it.
I don't like that either. I also always, when we talk about mustaches, I always got to throw one out for the local goat when it comes to mustaches, Alan Shepard.
Oh
Alan's
yeah, he's
Jewelry
another
and
one.
Pawn. Yeah, Alan's Jewelry and Pawn. You can go check him out, and you'll know if he's there because, I mean, you can't miss it.
Well,
it's a glorious mustache.
Oh yeah, you'll know because you'll go, "Hey, is that Sam Elliott?" Nope, that's actually a more pristine mustache than Sam Elliott's.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville. Your mountain weather
clear.
Yeah,
Maybe
Alan
dodging
Shepard is
this
another
afternoon,
one.
and maybe dodging some down spots, showers and thunderstorms.
Although the last time I saw him, I will be honest, there needs to be some trimming.
I don't see how he eats
Probably
food.
around 65.
I don't either. It was like a big fur flap just over his face. Like, wait a minute.
Thunderstorms.
How do you
87.
eat food?
I'm eating
right.
The Weather Channel.
But
This report is sponsored
it is
by
a
Dairy Queen.
top-notch
Hurry
mustache.
Glorious.
for their saucy
All right, I got
and
4
tossed
minutes here.
chicken strip baskets with
Yes.
Okay, I need a
bottom,
piece of
and
cheese.
everywhere in
I didn't
between.
eat
Try
lunch.
them today in Honey Barbecue or New Buffalo, only at DQ. Happy tastes good, only at participating Dairy Queen locations.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Grig Electric is now hiring. Excellent pay, competitive benefits, year-end bonuses, and more. Company vehicles issued for licensed electricians. Go to grigelectric.com or call 828-232-0021 to join the team at Grig Electric, serving WNC since 1976.
June is Men's Health Month. Time to take charge of your well-being with these 4 quick tips. First, see your primary care provider. Many serious conditions, so no early symptoms, so don't wait until you're sick. Next, get moving. Daily exercise like walking or jogging lowers your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and more. Third, eat smart. Plan those meals, choose lean proteins, and swap snacks for fruits and nuts. And finally, protect your mental health with good sleep and time outdoors. Good health starts today. Find a provider at myhaywoodregional.com.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
There's a lot to be excited about in 2025. And for your Atlanta Braves, it's all about a fresh start.
1-2, he hits one well. Deep left field. Gonna head back to the wall. Boom! A 2-run home run!
Join us for Atlanta Braves baseball all season.
Fly ball deep right field. Hanging high, carrying back to the chop house. Look out!
The mountain's home for the Braves. Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this summer's Parks Community Hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. A critical need exists today. Join us on June 27th at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, help save a life and donate blood, and make a direct impact in our community and support all of our community heroes. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good. Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio and the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor. Heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat each and every day. Get your thoughts in on the topics of the day. Summer scouting. We talked about offensive linemen last hour. We'll talk about the defensive linemen at the top of the 2026 NFL draft class coming up at the back half of this hour. But first off, It's time for a daily draft. We haven't done one of these in a while, Jeremy.
It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm. Today's daily draft centers around trades that hurt you the most. After the Boston Red Sox traded Rafi Devers to the San Francisco Giants for a bag of nickels. Thanks. Appreciate you. Just another one. And another one. As DJ Khaled would say. Because it feels like they do this to me over and over and over again. They've been doing it to me for years. I mean, we get these, we build up these heroes in our minds. I did want to think about when you were a kid. Like, these guys were gods. And then all of a sudden, just gone. Off to another team. How young were you when you settled yourself or resigned yourself to it's just business?
Oh.
Because it felt personal the first couple of times it happened.
Well, I mean, my number one. It hurt a lot, and I wasn't even necessarily I enjoyed the team, but it was him as a player that really got me, and that's kind of when it broke my brain.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the worst trade to you? What's the trade that hurt you the most?
When the Lakers traded Shaquille O'Neal to Miami.
That's a good one.
That was the one where I went, well, that's over. And yeah, they still won a title. I get it. But the Shaquille going to the Lakers was the most conflicted that I've ever been because that was my favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
You understand, I was 5 years old when he got drafted. I still have a Shaquille O'Neal Orlando Magic ornament that hangs on my tree at Christmas.
Good for you.
I loved Shaquille O'Neal. Because I loved basketball long before I loved football. And I remember hearing that there was, the Kobe and Shaq thing was coming. It had happened. But you just thought they were going to find a way to work it out. And then you look at what they got with Caron Butler and Lamar Odom and Brian Grant. There's just nobody there that's even in the stratosphere of what you sent out. I think that's kind of how you felt yesterday. And I'm also trying to factor in other people too. I have one it's selfish, and it's my last pick, and it's getting on this list because I'm a selfish man.
Okay.
But I know you're not going to take it because I'm not even sure if you remember who this guy is.
That's a good way to think you got one in the hopper there.
I know you know who he is because I know him personally, and you and I have talked about it. But you will not think of it. You will not think of that coming.
Okay, all right. So your number one is Shaq to Miami
for sure. That was just a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Okay. My number one is tough, but since I get back-to-back picks here, I can get my one and my two of the trades that hurt me the most. You know what? I'm going to go more recent for number one because I still believe the Mookie Betts trade is one of the worst I've ever seen. The Boston Red Sox trading Mookie Betts to the L.A. Dodgers in return for Jeter Downs, Alex Verdugo, and I can't remember who the other guy was, but he's not with the team anymore either. Make that make sense. I don't get it, and this is why I hated the Devers deal. I hate trading known entities. Right, I know what this guy is. Mookie Betts was the best prospect that the Red Sox had since Wade Boggs. Homegrown talent. Drafted him, brought him up in the system, and he was awesome. He was the MVP. And you didn't want to pay him. And you just let him walk out the door. And then he goes to the L.A. Dodgers and wins a World Series for them and will probably win 2 more with the Dodgers before it's all said and done. I hate the business of sports, right? The fact that you look at a guy and go, well, I don't want to sink that much money into one single player, so I'm just going to throw darts at a board for 6 other guys. And we'll see if it works. Because I feel pretty certain that the Devers deal is going to end up being the same thing.
It could be.
I mean, you just traded him away for a 28-year-old pitcher who throws really hard but doesn't have any control and gets shelled a lot. A 23-year-old pitcher who might be good at some point, was a top prospect at one point, but how many top prospects have there ever been that never made it to the show or, maybe made it to the show but wasn't any good? It's hundreds, thousands in the history of baseball. And then you give me a first-round pick from last year, some kid from Florida State. Hopefully he's good, but I have no idea. So Betts is number one.
That's a little high for me, but I mean, it definitely hit you in a place.
100%.
I think it deserved to be on the rankings, so it not off to a bad start.
Yeah. Number 2 broke my soul.
Oh, this should be good.
As a kid in, 1996?
Yep, I know what this one is.
When the Charlotte Hornets traded Alonzo Mourning to the Miami Heat. Now, this one is kind of conflicting because immediately my favorite player on the Hornets after that came over in that trade, and Glenn Rice. I mean, that dude was unbelievable. One of the best three-point shooters I had ever seen.
I patterned my game after Glenn Rice, and I'm not ashamed of that.
Right.
I'm not going to defend anybody, but by golly, I've never seen a three I don't like.
Yeah. Glenn Rice was my dude after that. Because he had to be, because it was the best player that we had, because we also got Matt Geiger and Khalid Reeves in that trade for Alonzo Mourning. All because you didn't want to pay him. I'm sensing a theme here. Alonzo Mourning going to, and that was what? That was the year after LJ left. Right? Larry Johnson got gone in 95. And then immediately didn't want to pay Alonzo Mourning, let him go. Like, we thought that was going to be, this is our chance. Like, I remember watching Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning, like 93, 94 season, maybe it was. They get into the playoffs, and, they didn't beat the Chicago Bulls, obviously, because the Bulls couldn't be stopped at that point. But I at least felt like they were competitive. And maybe in a couple of years, keep these guys together, we grow them together, maybe we'll have a chance to compete in the East. And that was the I guess the second sign that this is never going to go your way. That was just the beginning of decades of heartbreak as a Charlotte Hornets fan. And now there's 12 of you left. So Alonzo Mourning, it hurt me to see him wear Miami Heat colors.
Well, I did not know that's where you were going to go.
Okay.
But you left me one that I'm going to give you the backstory on.
Okay.
I was but a young nerd. Just a wee lad of a draft nerd. And in the NBA, I really liked Shaquille O'Neal. I didn't have a team at the time yet. The New York thing hadn't taken hold. I really wanted the Charlotte Hornets to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I was the kid that I watched every single thing that television would give me because this was in the early ages of the interwebs. And I remember seeing a kid on Inside Stuff with Ahmad Rashad and thinking, that dude's good. And he looks like Michael Jordan. Then draft night came. And the Charlotte Hornets drafted him. And His name was Kobe Bean Bryant. And then they traded him to the Los Angeles Lakers for the guy that kind of looked like he probably smelled bad, Vlade Divac. And I remember at 9 years old, and I didn't know that Kobe had tried to force his way to L.A. I didn't know all of those things. I was young. I just remember thinking, man, it would have been a lot of fun to watch that kid play in Charlotte. And, it would have been really fun to have grown up in Asheville with Kobe Bryant playing in Charlotte. Instead, you got Vlade Divac, who I'm sure is a nice guy, I guess. I don't know. I don't know him. I don't care. His game looked like the old guy at the gym, and I just remember thinking, that is what you traded an 18-year-old Michael Jordan lookalike for. And little me couldn't wrap his head around that.
Right. I didn't know anything about Kobe. I mean, I knew that he was a basketball star or in high school. Like, I had heard the rumors that he was good, but I didn't care. When the Hornets drafted him and traded him, I was like, what was the point in that? Why the hell did we do that? Like, you could have taken another player there and not gotten Vlade Divac. I didn't hate Vlade.
You got sniped on.
Like you said, he was okay.
You got sniped on Kerry Kittles one spot ahead of you. I always I liked Kerry Kittles a lot because he was a really good 3-point shooter. And I remember him going before the Hornets like, oh, I guess we're going to have to settle for that high school kid.
Yeah.
Who I liked.
I remember.
And then they traded him for Vlade Divac.
Yeah. Now looking back on it, it looks terrible. Right, in the history of the Charlotte Hornets, they have drafted 2 MVPs and just gave them away. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Kobe Bryant. Whew, it's hard to be a fan of that team. Really hard.
I think you're going to like my next one.
Okay.
Because if this wasn't on your list, I don't think you thought I would take this. And so you didn't take it where you should have. It was Alex Rodriguez getting traded to the Yankees. That was the day I decided I hate baseball. Baseball's stupid, and I hate it.
Okay.
Because you took the highest paid player in the sport. I never really liked the Red Sox per se, but I always wanted you to get one. I would wear a Red Sox t-shirt just like I was with the Cubs when they finally got theirs. I wanted you to get one. And then you get completely hosed on the league won't allow A-Rod to take a pay cut. After that's where he was headed, and the next day he's traded to the Yankees, who I despised.
Yep.
The Yankees are the only New York team that I despise.
That did make me throw stuff because I thought, I had with the talk and the run up to the trade, right? He was going somewhere. We just didn't know which team was going to win the Derby. And Red Sox fans, we had all kind of, we had all thought this is going to happen, right? This is the last piece that we need because you had just made it to the ALCS. You were right there on the doorstep of the World Series, and A-Rod would have clinched it. That would have been it. It'd have been over, done, signed, sealed, deliver. We are winning a World Series. We are breaking the curse. And then that happened, and he goes to the Yankees, and it made 2004 so much sweeter. Right? I don't think many people remember that as an element of that season. Like, everybody remembers the Veritek A-Rod fight. But if you forget the fact that A-Rod had already said yes to Boston. And
the trade was already done.
I mean, it was done.
The trade was done.
The deal was done. He was packing his bags. He was looking for a high-rise apartment. It was over.
Do you remember the names that were in that deal?
I do not.
As a Red Sox fan, this is the only thing that maybe cautioned me that you wouldn't put this on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a 3-team deal. It was the White Sox, the Red Sox, and the Rangers. Red Sox would have gotten Alex Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
They would have also gotten, I think they would have gotten Maglio Ordonez.
Okay.
But it would have cost them Manny Ramirez, Nomar Garciaparra, and John Lester.
Mm-hmm. Which would have been terrible.
For sure. It'd been awful.
Like, thinking back on it now, that would have been awful. If we could have got A-Rod and kept the other pieces, everything would have been, great. The problem is you got to give up something to get that, and that would have been devastating. But the fact that you won it anyway without him was just chef's kiss.
That was the day, though. If people wonder, why do I hate baseball so much? That was the day. That was the day where I went, nope, this is stupid. This is stupid, and I hate it, and I will never watch it again. And then I got mad at ESPN that the stupid scroll at the bottom of the screen took so long to get through baseball.
Mm-hmm. I did not. I did not have it on my list at all because, it hurt in the moment, but it was the aftermath that made it all better. Right? The fact that you didn't need him to win it. And then the fact that the Empire got him and you still beat him. That made it all that much sweeter. We'll take a break here in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. Worst trades, well, not worst trades. The trades that hurt you the most as a sports fan. Today's Daily Draft. We'll be right back.
Our iHeartRadio
Clear.
Presented
Thank
by
you.
Capital One.
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 19th and 20th. Streaming live only on Hulu.
And you can be there.
For a weekend full of superstar performances, never-before-seen collaborations, and once-in-a-lifetime artist moments you'll have to see to believe. Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. Get your tickets today at AXS.com. And we'll see you at our 2025 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
OpenAI is a financial abomination, a thing that should not be, an aberration, a symbol of rot at the heart of Silicon Valley. And I'm going to tell you why on my show Better Offline, the rudest show in the tech industry, where we're breaking down why OpenAI, along with other AI companies, are dead set on lying to your boss that they can take your job. I'm also going to be talking with the greatest minds in the industry about all the other ways the rich and powerful are ruining the computer. Listen to Better Offline on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Better Offline and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
At Ingles, we're all in for summer. Whether you're hitting the trails, hitting the water, or hitting the golf ball, we have everything you need for the perfect picnic, the greatest grill out, and the best beach vacation. We know that the mountains are calling, the open road awaits, and that pool party is ready to rock. So head on over to Ingles and stock up on all the goodies to get you through your summer of freedom. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this summer's Parks Community Hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. A critical need exists today.
Check your
Join us
text
on
tank.
June 27th at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Help save a life and donate blood and make a direct impact in our community and support all of our community heroes. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com.
That's the okayest.
avl.com or
I thought it was so good.
showtimesportsavl.com for your...
Is good.
custom apparel shops.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
We're back in the Sportsocracy. The daily draft today. Trades that hurt you the most in sports. Or the trades that you just never got over. Or maybe you got over it, but it still hurt you inside. So far, Jeremy had the first pick. He went Shaq to Miami. Number one, he's a big Lakers fan back in the day.
I was a big Shaq fan back in the day.
Who wasn't?
And then I loved Kobe.
Like at that point.
And then it was like, my brothers had been separated, and now I hated Miami. Hated Miami. I don't even know why. I don't even, to this day, I still hate Miami. There's something about that franchise that I don't like.
Interesting. I mean, they're run by Pat Riley. You would think that.
You would think I would, and I do. I love Pat Riley.
Right.
I don't like that franchise.
Interesting. So the LeBron thing really killed you.
Oh, LeBron's that's a whole nother rant for another day. I wanted him to not be in Cleveland. I did not want him to be in Miami, though.
Yeah. Okay. You had Shaq to Miami. You had Kobe to the Lakers from Charlotte, NBA draft night. I give you props for that because, like I said, I didn't even know who the hell Kobe was.
The only reason I knew who he was because they had done a story on him on Inside Stuff, and I went, that dude looks really good.
And then you had A-Rod to the Yankees in 2004. My number one was the Mookie Betts trade. Boston Red Sox sending Mookie Betts to the L.A. Dodgers. Still just doesn't make any sense to me. Other than, John Henry didn't want to shell out the cash. That's one of the biggest market franchises that acts like they're the Kansas City Royals. Ditching Mookie, ditching Xander, now ditching Rafi. Alonzo Mourning being traded from the Charlotte Hornets to the Miami Heat was a killer. It was the first day that I ever cussed an owner. Because I can remember my dad, he said a lot of bad things about George Shinn starting with the Larry Johnson thing. Not re-signing Larry Johnson, letting him go to New York. Terrible. And then when Alonzo Mourning got traded the very next year and all the magic was gone, I was like, oh, so this is, okay, we're back to like 1988 again. Awesome. We have Rex Chapman and Kelly Tripucka. Thanks. My number 3 selection is one that has nothing to do with either of my favorite teams or any of my favorite teams. However, there was one player when I was a kid who was transcendent. He was the greatest player I had ever seen. I would stay up late at night just to catch SportsCenter highlights, just so I could see every possible beautiful, immaculate swing of Ken Griffey Jr. And the moment the kid went from Seattle to Cincinnati, I felt like that was a benchmark for my childhood dying. Because, and this wasn't necessarily because of the trade, obviously. Ken got older. and he started getting injured, and the career just went all to hell. He had like one good season in Cincinnati, I think. Didn't he have like one season where he hit like 40 homers, and then after that it was just he couldn't stay on the field?
Yeah, that's
maybe
little overgeneralization, but yeah,
okay.
That's about right.
But when he got traded from Seattle, it was just one of the most shocking things, because we knew that he wanted out. Right, the Seattle thing wasn't working. He didn't want to be in the Pacific Northwest anymore. His dad was a coach for the Cincinnati Reds. He was raised in Cincinnati, so he wanted to be back home, basically. But to me, it felt like that trade killed one of the greatest baseball careers. I mean, he's still one of the greatest of all time.
See, that was a great trade for me. I would put that in my top 5 of made me the happiest.
Well, yeah, because you're a Reds fan.
Well, my dad
was.
was. My dad was a Reds fan. Yeah,
right.
So that was a high water day for me. I remember that being an awesome day. Like, hey, favorite player in baseball is going to Dad's favorite team.
You traded Ken Griffey Jr. for Mike Cameron.
Oh, by the way,
great job.
Junior was in Cincinnati for 8 years. He couldn't stay on the field. He wasn't an everyday player. He still, he had 35 homers the year he was 35. So, he was still a good player.
Mm-hmm.
He just wasn't the guy he had been in Seattle.
Right. He just never was transcendent again. I do remember that one-off season after the struggles to stay on the field. Yeah, Griffey was just so awesome. And you were so used to seeing him with the S on his hat, and it was cool. Remember you were probably too young for...
Oh, no, I remember it.
To be a part of the Edgar Martinez, Jay Buhner, I think even Harold Reynolds was on that team. Like,
he was.
Those guys were good. Randy Johnson on the mound. The year that they won, 102 games, and we all thought, this is it.
I think it was more than that. I thought they won 111 games or something like that.
It was a lot.
117 stuck in my head.
117?
117 stuck in my head. I'm looking at it. 116.
116.
I was close.
I remember watching that final game, and they dug up the home plate. That was cool.
Wow.
It was a great moment.
You want to hear a crazy stat about the Seattle Mariners?
Yeah.
They won 116 games in 2001. They have never, not only have they not won 100 games again, they've never won more than 93 games again. Had one of the, if not the best season in Major League Baseball history.
Mm-hmm.
Never won more than 93 games again in 50 years. Wow, there's a stat you can win a free beer at a bar with.
All right, and my fourth selection here, I got to go with Randy Moss. Randy Moss going to the New England Patriots. I think we all got ticked off at that. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, I
hated
it.
We I
was saving that one.
Tired.
I didn't think that one hit you. I didn't think that one hit you enough in the heartstrings for you to take it, so I was saving that one for. Oh, I hated that. I did. I hated that.
Yeah, of course you did. As a Jets fan, I wasn't even invested in it, but as an NFL fan, I saw that and went, "Well, damn it, they're going to win again." And then I got hooked on it, and then I liked to watch it because they were scoring all the points, and it was fantastic, and that offense was just unstoppable. And then the Giants happened.
All right, you made this easy for me because you took you took my fourth pick. I'm going to Luka to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
That was the day the NBA really died for me. Same thing as A-Rod with the Yankees. That was the day the NBA died. The NBA is just going to funnel players to LA. I don't care about LA. I don't care. I'm good. And it was a dumb trade, too. Like, you really just look at the brass tacks of that, it doesn't make any sense. Oh, Luka was getting fat. I don't care if Luka came in and looked like Ndamukong Suh. That was still stupid. Randy L said, and then Dallas magically got the number 1 overall pick. NBA conspiracy theories, I get this a lot. Being an NFL guy that works directly in the NFL, I get a lot of people that tell me, oh, the NFL's rigged. It's rigged. The officials are on the take. And I laugh at those people and go, then why is Kansas City the most consistent team in the league? Why was New England the most consistent team in the league? Why is it never Dallas or the Jets or the Giants? If the NFL's rigged, they're doing a terrible job of it. I laughed at people with the NBA the same way. That Luka Doncic number 1 overall pick going to Dallas thing, that was the breaker of that. I can't even tell you you're crazy anymore. I mean, because honestly, it's so – there's so many of those things where you go, either that's the luckiest league in the world or you have your thumb on the scale. And my final one is one that I'm still, to this day, even knowing this guy, I'm not okay talking about. It was the New York Jets trading Hugh Douglas in 1998. I cried. I straight up cried. I did. He was my favorite player, and Bill Parcells had come in and changed the defense. He was Rookie of the Year. He was the other first-round pick the year they took Kyle Brady. Everybody always forgets that. Here's what makes me angry about that, is that if they had taken Warren Sapp and Hugh Douglas, they might have had a Tampa Bay Buccaneer-level run, because even Bill Parcells couldn't have gone, yeah, we're going to not do that. We have these two, but nah, we're not going to do that. And I loved Hugh.
Yeah.
I'll give you $1 if you can tell me what school he played at.
Hugh Douglas?
Mm-hmm. He was first-round pick.
Georgia Tech.
That is not correct. I would not have asked you that if it had been a school that easy to guess. He played at Central State.
Where the hell?
He was a Central State Marauder. It's a D2 school in Wilberforce, Ohio.
Oh, my. Okay. Learn something new every day.
Yep.
All right, final selection for me in the trades that hurt you the most. I mentioned this earlier in the program. Nomar Garciaparra being traded to the Cubs in 2004 broke my heart. Number 5 was it for me, right? As a kid who grew up a Red Sox fan in the mid to late 80s going into the 90s, like there were stretches where we didn't really have much to pull for. Right, you had like Dewey Evans and after Roger Clemens got gone and all of that, like Nomar was the next guy. Number 5 was a god to all of Red Sox Nation. And my jaw hit the floor when the news came down that Nomar Garciaparra had been traded. And it was and they were dead to me. The Red Sox were dead to me for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Now you talk about a guy. You were talking about King.
Very short-lived.
You talk about Ken Griffey Jr.'s career coming off the rails. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Nomar, he went to the pit of misery when he left Boston.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he was the same thing. Like the injuries started to pile up on him, and it got uncomfortable in Boston, which I always hate when star player and the front office don't see eye to eye on how things need to go. And when you have that guy who's been around forever, again, another homegrown talent, it's hard to let go of those guys. And like I said, it only lasted for a few weeks because once you saw it, then you figured out, oh, wait, we're still good without him. Orlando Cabrera and Doug Mientkiewicz came in, and they ended up playing major roles in breaking the curse in 2004 and immediately winning the World Series. Doesn't usually work out that way for sports fans after a giant trade like that. But at the time, you looked at it and went, how lopsided is that trade? And lo and behold, it worked out. But we'll never forget. We'll never forget no more. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We've got defensive linemen to talk about. In the 2026 NFL Draft Class, the Flostradamus Summer Scouting continues. Coming up next.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
I may be dodging this afternoon and maybe dodging some downpours in some spots. Showers and thunderstorms now kicked into the likely category. Mid-afternoon through tonight, especially early tonight. Tonight's low will be probably around 65 after a high of 85. Tuesday, likely showers, thunderstorms, 85. Wednesday, more scattered late-day showers and thunderstorms, 87. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads. No. T-shirt cannon. I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost, so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
It's summer. Time to enjoy long days, lazy nights, and great food. Because Uber Eats has deals all summer long. So, when hunger strikes, don't sweat it. Delicious deals are just a tap away on Uber Eats. Enjoy all your favorite grocery items delivered straight to you. Get ice cream, soda, and snacks from your favorite stores like Wegmans and CVS and make the most of every moment. Now that sounds like a good summer. Order now on Uber Eats. Terms apply. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
iHeartRadio just gave driving an upgrade with Presets, now on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Your go-to stations, podcasts, and playlists, all just a tap away on your dash. Start your engine, hit play, and drive happy. Free with iHeartRadio on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
You're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Yes, we absolutely love football. There are few things in this world that we love as much as football. Right? Like, I try to get there with my wife. My kids, obviously, we joke about that a lot in my house.
You beat me to it. I was going to say something very similar, and didn't have to because you did it.
There There are a few things that are better than football in this world. That's why every offseason we just sit around and feels like we're just twiddling our thumbs, just waiting.
I can tell you definitively, I do not feel like I'm twiddling my thumbs.
Well, I mean, look, not all of us have the the sick sense that you do. Not sixth, the sick, S-I-C-K, of diving into prospect reviews and things like that. We're glad you're doing it for us, so we don't have to.
Well, I mean, I got to do the prospect reviews, and then we got to get down to business. Got to make sure all the T's are dotted, the T's are crossed, and I's are dotted to make sure We did not do all of those things last year, and it led to a tremendous number of headaches.
Yeah, very, very chaotic. Hopefully, we're more organized.
Light years ahead this year of where we were last year.
Absolutely. We will continue the summer scouting with Flostradamus Jeremy Greene, just to bide the time, and in the meantime, we have to find other things to fill our time. Like, for example, we're going to be doing some culinary things here in the Sportsocracy.
I'm so excited.
We've got a big party coming up. Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue, we talk about them all the time. They are the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy, and they love to tell you, and I love to tell you, about their balls, the bear balls and the moink balls and all the things. Well, they have fulfilled one of my dreams. Because when we started this, I said, I love doing the ball commercials. Those are great. They're fun. They allow me some creativity. And now they've made it even more challenging for me because on August the 9th, from 2 to 6 p.m., 135 Cox Avenue, Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue is throwing the big wiener party. Thank you, Megan, Cheryl, all the crew down there. I appreciate this. The big wiener party is going to be coming up, and we're obviously going to have fun telling you about this as it goes. Jeremy, we're going to be involved in this. The idea here is you got 6 teams, and there will be one, as they say, royal wiener in a battle of the buns, toppings, and comedy, all for a great cause. Proceeds benefiting Linked for Life, supporting free mental health therapy for Asheville's food and beverage workers. There will be brews on hand by Highwire Brewing for the contest, but each team is going to come up with a topping, right? You do some kind of customized topping for the hot dog, and then it'll be judged.
So we have a team. We are Beer City's best sports talk.
Yes.
Our team is Beer City's okayest wiener team.
Yes.
And I will be a judge. It will be myself, Stu Helms, Todd Lewis, and the Vulgar Chef. We will be the judges.
Oh, and don't forget Dan, old Dan Whalen, who is the top wienerologist.
Oh, that one's new. When they sent this to me, there was a 5th judge, but they didn't tell me who it was.
Yeah.
So we have a wienerologist, which I am so excited for. But we will be the 5 judges. Tank will be manning the grill with what I may say is a ringer for our team.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that thinks there will be any impropriety, just know, Tank, is there anybody on this planet that is harder on you than me?
No, there is not.
So not only will you have to impress the other 4 judges, you will have to really work on your wienering to impress me.
Indeed. We want everybody.
Somebody that
to join
just
us.
showed up is like, what is happening right now?
We want everybody to join us for the big wiener party at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville, 135 Cox Avenue, Saturday, August the 9th from 2 to 6 p.m. It is going to be, I can't imagine. I really can't imagine how fun that afternoon and evening is going to be. So we want everybody to come on out. You can check out Bears Barbecue at bearsbbq.com, the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Our fantasy football kickoff will be the following day.
Mm-hmm.
So we always do a day of fantasy football things. That will be the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And we will be announcing our Living the Dream tour schedule sometime right around there. Haven't come up with a date yet just because I keep adding new things. I'm making this fall just a lot. It's a lot.
And I think back to that moment after the NFL draft. We got back to the what did we call it? What was the place in
the Pelican Bay Pleasure Shed or whatever it was.
The Pleasure Club.
Pleasure Club, that was it.
The Pelican Bay Pleasure Club. We got back and just kind of took that deep breath and just went, "Whew, this was a lot." Jeremy looks at me, he goes, "You know what, next year, we're not doing that. We're not going that hard in the paint next year. We're going to take it easy next year." That lasted for all of 16 seconds.
Lie detector test proved that was a lie.
That was a lie, indeed.
Yeah,
all right,
because this upcoming year, I'm just looking at the confirmed dates, which one of them is getting exponentially bigger as this day is proceeding. It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. And if you would like to be involved with it, Jeremy at thesportsocracy.com, we do still have game sponsorships available. You contact me. We'll tell you how to do that. We got some new partners we'll be telling you about over the next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. Ingles Living the Dream Part 2 tour.
Rides again.
Mm-hmm.
Living the Dream rides again.
There you go. I like that. All right, summer scouting here. Let's knock out your defensive lineman here.
Let's go D tackles. Yeah, we'll just go D tackles because we didn't, in stereotypical us fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Tank had to talk about wienering for far too long. So defensive tackles. Hey, here's what you need to know. Peter Woods he's real good at football.
Uh-huh.
He's my number one overall prospect. Tim, Caleb Downs, handful of others that are vying for that number one spot.
Okay.
The thing that scares me about Peter Woods is why does he not play more? He's incredibly impactful. I told you I watched the Clemson South Carolina tape over again. It is shocking how many times you see number 11 in the backfield. And it didn't matter what they threw at him. Oh, by the way, did I mention he just turned 20 about 6 weeks ago? He's a lot. And I think he's got Quinnen Williams level potential to be one of the best defensive tackles in the league. It gets a little thin from there. There are a lot of names. Caleb Banks from Florida, obviously one that has to be talked about. Real easy to point out because his number doesn't make any sense. Big 88 in the middle of that Florida defense.
Mm-hmm.
I am in like with him. I'm not in love. And then you get into the Tim Keenans and the Christian Millers and a handful of other guys that I think have a potential to get themselves maybe into the back end of the first round, beginning of the second. There is a name, though, that you probably don't know a lot about. It's Lee Hunter. This kid plays at Texas Tech. He's a transfer. And I genuinely think there is a possibility that kid winds up being the number 2 defensive tackle in this class. He transferred over from Central Florida. Texas Tech is doing NIL the right way, as evidenced by the fact their softball team is as good as it is.
You're right.
They know what they're doing, and they invested a boatload of money into their football team. They have one of my favorite transfer edge rushers in David Bailey from Stanford, Lee Hunter, handful of other guys. That team is going to be way better than people think. And he's the name that I kept circling going, you put legit talent around him, and you can actually see how good he is. Central Florida has regressed over the last handful of years.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the end of the Malzahn era was not great. He was getting players, but they weren't great players. Or they would have a great player and it was surrounded by a bunch of just dudes. You didn't get a chance to see how good this kid was. When you watch him on film, it really jumps off. And now that he's going to a bigger program, a deeper roster, a team that I think is going to be really good. I'm heavy on over Texas A&M win or Texas Tech wins, excuse me. Because the schedule is very manageable. And I have this funny feeling that when we get into the draft next year, that's going to be one of the guys that people are saying, where in the world did he come from? And I'm telling you his name now, just because I want to be one of the first ones to say, just wait. Just wait. Because Texas Tech doesn't play anybody outside of Arizona State.
Yeah.
They play Utah and Arizona State. That is it.
Lee Hunter. That's a name I had not heard.
Dog.
All right.
Dog.
There you have it. Top handful of defensive tackles for the upcoming season. We'll talk edge rushers maybe tomorrow.
Yeah,
on the program.
We'll it's a Power Ranking Tuesday.
It is a Power Rankings Tuesday as well. Where are we going on the Power Rankings this week?
Defenses.
All right. Best defenses in the NFL, or ranking all of the defenses in the NFL. Tomorrow on a Power Rankings Tuesday. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Hope you have a great evening. We will see you back here at noon.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Your
Thank
mountain
you.
weather forecast.
All right, maybe dodging this afternoon and maybe dodging some downpours in some spots. Showers and thunderstorms now kicked into the likely category. Mid-afternoon through tonight, especially early tonight. Tonight's low will be probably around 65 after a high of 85. Tuesday, likely showers, thunderstorms, 85. Wednesday, more scattered late-day showers and thunderstorms, 87. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Straight Talk might not be on your shopping list, but it should be. Next time you're grabbing some milk off the shelf at your local Walmart, stop by the Straight Talk aisle and switch to real unlimited data. It's quick and convenient. It won't even take up room in your cart.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same.
Vehicles for you, right here in America. And this summer, we're committed to keeping our lineup affordable and free from new tariffs. That's why we've lowered MSRP on our best-selling Rogue and Pathfinder, so you can get the car you want
At the price you want, knowing Nissan is here for you at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
For a limited time until supplies last, assembled with U.S. and imported parts.
ESPN Asheville, broadcasting from the Ingalls studio at Radio Ranch. Log on to ESPNAVL.com and make us your #1 preset on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, #1 for sports coverage in the mountains.
Grig Electric is now hiring. Excellent pay, competitive benefits, year-end bonuses, and more. Company vehicles issued for licensed electricians. Go to grigelectric.com or call 828-232-0021 to join the team at Grig Electric, serving WNC since 1976.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Things that come in threes.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Charlie's Angels.
Really?
Yeah, but how's about news, weather, and traffic?
News, weather, and traffic.
Right up there with the most essential things in your workday.
That and milk, eggs, and bread. Picks them up on the way home.
Yes, dear.
News, weather, and traffic. We're Western North Carolina strong. The voice of the mountains. News Radio 570, WWNC.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy fans crave. Bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. this is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
For the 2025 Atlanta Braves, it's time to dial in, which means every game means a little more.
First pitch, ground ball right side, diving stop by Ozzie. Got him. Whoa, what a play by Albies.
Coverage brought to you locally by Parks Ford of Hendersonville.
Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Mountain's home for the Braves on Asheville's #1 sports station, ESPN Asheville.
Good morning, guys. I just want to warn you, traffic is tough out there.
We are here for you to tell you how to keep safe,
Everybody who is listening needs to take cover as soon as they can.
to provide the music, talk, and sports you love, and to deliver the news that matters to you. We are the voices you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress you depend on your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.